Futures pointing to a second straight higher open coming up this morning as we look to extend gains from late in the day yesterday. Nice bounce back and a nice rally to end off Monday's session. Unlike the past couple of days, it's actually tech shares that are leading this morning, specifically chip makers. Intel up big time, 8+% in the pre-market. They've announced the plan to list their self-driving unit coming up, separate listing coming up in the first half of next year. We'll talk about Intel finally waking up a little bit after a couple of months to the downside. Stocks overall, green yesterday to start the new trading week, even with this new Omicron variant still spreading globally and lingering in the background. Still data showing symptoms very, very light for Omicron. So travel stocks also looking pretty decent this morning. We'll have a look at some of the travel names. Remember, it was the airlines and cruise lines yesterday that led the rally. Meanwhile, Fed officials saying that they might increase their buyback or increase the tapering of the buyback twofold coming up in December as well when they meet next week. CPI data on the docket coming up later in the week. So that'll be pretty telling heading into the next Fed meeting over the next couple of weeks here. EV stocks also showing strength in the pre-market. Tesla leading once again. Remember, we dipped below $1,000 yesterday, but well above it here in the pre-market. It's Tuesday, December 7th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. Look at how things stand at this point. Yeah, nicely positive right across the board. S&P 1.3% for the Dow. The NASDAQ leading, as we said, specifically chip makers showing all kinds of strength here in the pre-market. 0.8 for the TSX. Brazil open already 1.3% to the upside. Crude oil 2.75% back in positive territory again today. And yeah, good to see cryptocurrencies higher this morning as well. 1.6 for Bitcoin, Ethereum 0.5%. We did get back to positive yesterday for Ethereum, but what a weekend it was for cryptocurrencies. Sean back with us this morning after a couple of days off. Good to have Sean back in the chair this morning. Arun as well filling in on the other side of the screen today for Neil after a couple of days in Sean's seat. Guys, interesting day setting up here once again. Again, it's chip stocks specifically, but also the tech group that seems to be in charge here so far this morning.
Yeah, just letting these guys know that my stream deck doesn't seem to be right. I don't know, there's a whole bunch of new stuff on here. But welcome, Arun. We play, what is it, hot potato or switching the chairs
musical
up here?
Chairs.
Musical chairs, good one, not hot potato. As we pass it back and forth between Neil, myself, and Arun. Neil, of course, today, wow, I don't know if you watched the football game.
I saw the first half.
But he's not going to be happy.
No?
Well, they lost. I mean, they lost to a rookie quarterback. The Patriots came in, to Orchard Park and beat his Buffalo Bills. But we'll talk about that in a minute as, the Packers, took care of business as per usual, and we'll just continue to have a good NFL season as it's winding up to the end right now. I think there was 3 passing plays yesterday for New Orleans. That's it in the whole game. Wins yesterday, obviously a big issue, but welcome. Oh, you know what I saw in the I hope this is going to be somebody's mug, but I stole it. Look, this is an SEC mug right here. So we took that from the kitchen. But welcome, guys. Yeah, no, look, Brendan, you started off with talking about tech here. And what a ride for crypto, man. I mean, what did I miss when we were here over the weekend? It was crazy. Bitcoin down here, down to 40 and change. 42, 43,000 here on Coinbase Pro, and now busting right back up to 51 and change. And those of you that were here last week, remember me saying that we probably test 40,000 one more time. Didn't think we'd get it over the weekend, but we did. Comes right down here to 40 and then bounces nicely back up to 50. So that's exactly what we want to see. We do want to see some drawdowns and then a nice little bump back to the upside. We've been buying some BTC yesterday. We bought some Crypto.com. We bought some Solana. We bought some Ethereum, of course. And then we have naturally bought some Cardano, which has been in a tailspin. So hopefully that can get all figured out. But so far, so good, man. I'm looking at AMD. The sticky note is out as well. Sticky note loaded today. Intel, Tesla, Lucid, AMD, SoFi, HUT. We like some HUT. So we want to talk about some HUT 8 here today as some of these markets getting back to the upside here. So, yeah, look, I'm excited to be back. Hopefully we'll be able to have some winners for you. And I know it was an exciting couple days there, Arun.
Yeah, absolutely. Futures absolutely on fire. Yesterday was a nice little move. Took a while to get going, but we did take off. And then this market absolutely overnight just takes off. I think the move started around 8 o'clock last night. 8 p.m. Eastern, I believe it was roughly when we got going. Let me double check that. It's about 8 p.m. when we started going, and here we are pretty much, 60 points from that time. Up 1.33% right now, going strong. It does look like buy-side bias is going to be going into the open, at least for the way it's moving right now. It should be strong into the open. But again, we're at an interesting area, which I'll get into once we start talking about futures. But we are at an interesting area because we've kind of failed here a couple times before. We'll see. This is going to be interesting to see how this market opens and then how it closes within the first half hour or so, because it'll dictate how this market wants to play around this level there, Brandon.
Two big days to the upside after in the past 3 sessions, really. Remember, Thursday was higher, and then we had a little bit of a dip on Friday, and then we were back to the upside big time on Monday. So, yeah, let's see what will come of today. Lots to get through. Before we get any further, though, Miss V has taken her place to my left. Good morning.
Morning, Brandon, and hey guys, thank you for joining us today. I wish you a wonderful trading day. Please like this video and let's get it started, Brandon.
Yeah, let's get it started, guys. Lots to discuss here in the pre-market as we head towards the open. Under an hour to go. Let's kick things off with this Intel news, guys, because it was the biggest story when I sat down this morning, continues to be. Mobileye public, or they're planning on taking their self-driving unit Mobileye public in the first half I've read. This actually says mid-2022, but I also read the first half of 2022. So finally, Intel seems to be waking up here a little bit after about 6 or 7 months in a pretty steady downtrend.
Yeah, I saw Intel yesterday up that 4 or 5%. I thought something was probably up with this name, and then obviously today getting a bump. And this is exactly what we've been talking about, or you've been just mentioning there, Intel. And I know this is a name that Neil's liked, but I mean, it's just been such an underperformer here, and finally getting back to this level, you know, that we need to get back to. You could compare this thing to anything, you know, NVIDIA, even Micron, STM. AMD, I mean, all these names we talk about every single day, and it looks like finally Intel's getting off here, so it's nice, man. Mobileye, they're going to get into this EV space here. It looks like that should be. We'll see what this comes with, but looks like $50 billion is what it's looking like here on a mid-2022 deal on a self-driving car unit. So that's exciting. We've seen Apple go off on this kind of a news as well. Obviously, that's creating their own cars, a little different than spinning this off. But you know, they're unlocking value. I've said this about all these companies as we go. If we can unlock some value here, that's why we're talking about a Facebook. You know, possibly. I mean, they're doing that. They're already going to account differently for Meta than they are for Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. So that's coming on their next report. And so Intel's just basically divesting what they have here and going to put them public, looking for $50 billion. We'll see if they get that. Up to 56 is nice. I'm not interested in Intel until we get to about this 58.40 level. But it's a nice move today. It was up 8+%. It's starting to fade in a little bit here. It's still an interesting story. It's probably going to be true, I guess. And you know, we'll look to take out something higher here. I wrote down 55.75, basically this high of the day. If they want to take that out, then let's go. There's so many more names today, Arun, obviously, that are going to have some momentum that I think Intel is one that we can probably leave a bit. But it's a nice move up here, and I'm excited for it. Congratulations, shareholders. I think you can start to buy some Intel. I'd just rather buy it in between here somewhere, between this 51 and 54, whether or not it be 53, 52, something like that. Intel still has some room to go. But, you know, for me on a breakout trade, I think we got to wait till 58.
I'm going to say 56 would be the level I would look at. I'm kind of boxing this in here, 54 or 56. Downside break could open up. I'm seeing last line of support here around 54, but given that it's a pre-market move, volume is probably going to be light around there. So I'll just keep an eye on 54. If we do break and we stay below, I think there's a short there. Of course, if you break to the upside, I want to see how we trade above 56, but I would prefer to buy this as, you know, it's up for 7.37%, strong. So preferably a 56 break to the upside. As soon as I get confirmation of that move, I'll just step in there and jump on that there, Brendan.
We saw some of the fintech stocks popping back up late in the day yesterday. It was tech, again, that led things back from that rebound that we saw off of weakness right off the bat yesterday morning, I should say. I wanted to mention PayPal here because we're up 2% in the pre-market, but there was a positive note out. We put SoFi on the watch list this morning. SoFi about 3 or 4% in the pre-market here. A couple of analysts talking, more positive, I guess, is the way to put it. After, most of these daily charts, you can have a look at any of these. Most of these daily charts looking like this, guys. Even Square, Square has more ties to the crypto world, but even Square back to the upside today.
Yeah, I just wanted to say one thing here, because December 3rd, if you come over here to my Twitter here, I tweet this out on December 3rd. We're going to talk about the charts soon. I might rebalance a few holdings into ARK here, right? When there's blood in the streets, all right? So that's the whole thing here. When they turned into a bear market, I tweeted it out that this might be something to step into, and that was here on December 3rd. So whether or not you got it at 92, 93, something like that around here, it doesn't matter even if you got the high of the day, 93.50 or so, you're up to 98 right now on ARK. So I think that's given you at least 6 or 7%. Look, it's not a crazy bump, but on an ETF, that's not horrible at all. And I think there was an opportunity to step in there. If not yesterday, obviously in the morning was pretty bad, but ARK bumped up all day there. So I'm wondering if this is a time to get involved. And I think that I put that out there and people have been asking me, and I think it is time to buy all of these names really right now. They've just been depressed a lot. And I know we're talking about PayPal and Square and some of this, but it's the same type of thing. It's this fintech, that's what I'm reminded by when I see Upstart and we talk about PayPal, we talk about Square, and then we talk about ARK as well. And I know that they're investors in many of these names, including that Square and Upstart and even some other names there, Global Payments. I don't know. I like PayPal here. I can't say that it's going to be a dog anymore. I think that they've sort of restructured a little bit. They came out and said they'd have a good quarter, but they did miss with back to school. So that's hurt them. It's come back down. And this is what we're looking for, man. This is the kind of barcoding that we're looking for. We talked about sitting here and nibbling. We last nibbled here at like 203, 204. It's probably about that time. I'm close to a full enough position on this. I don't know if we need to go into PayPal anymore here. But look, we're coinciding with back here. It looks like we're basing out. Hopefully that 180 was the bottom. We've seen a similar bottom, and I can show you a tweet as well, where we talked about Disney and going in there and buying some Disney at that 142, 143 level. We can call that up and see where we're at right now. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see PayPal settle around 210 or so by the end of the week. That would make some sense to me. If we get a couple bucks today, puts us closing around 190, 193-ish, and then we'll see where we go from there. But nice bottom at 188 and change. For me, though, this has been so beat down, I don't want to take the long rate here. I'd rather see if it can fall back in, and then if we can get something around 186, 186.50, I like that. I like that a lot.
PayPal for me, this is the 30-minute going back multiple days into late November. Look at where we're sitting. We're sitting around this 190. Look at the action you're getting near the top end here. There's a ton of rejection, ton of volume. So it needs to cross all of that for me to even consider a possibility of taking a long intraday on this, let alone a swing trade or whatnot. So 193, I think, is the break point. If we can get above 193, I would be more confident that we've cleared all of this sell side action and we can actually get going on the long. The flip side of this is that if there's a sell setup at some point today, you could argue that, hey, you know what, maybe you're short around this 190 to a 193 stop, given that you are sitting near resistance, right? So there could be a trade on the short side, or you could just wait for the break to the upside, whichever direction you go with. It all depends on how it sets up and how it opens, right? But keep an eye on this level. It is hot. There's a ton of action here, a ton of volume, and a decent amount of resistance going back to late November.
Let's stay in the land of cryptocurrencies this morning. As we said, back to positive territory. Sean, you mentioned Hut 8 here. There was a headline for them. They picked up a bunch of mining machines. So that was announced this morning. 2,505 new mining machines for Hut 8. If you remember, going back to the beginning of December, it was the November mining numbers that seemed to kind of kick off this round of selling. But big move here, 8.25% for Hut back to $10.
Yeah, I do want to talk about Hut 8, and that was another name that I know you've been dipping as well, Brennan. And it's a name that I like in the crypto space. I got to get some equity exposure here. Although I do have Coinbase, I sold a little bit of that at 360. Thank God for that. We've seen how far that's come down. But first of all, Apple. I mean, let's just keep going, man. I tell this to everybody, and it's too bad Prad's not here, but he was like, where do I start a position? This was like Apple at 120. And I'm like, bro, just put some money into Apple, let it sit there, and let it just grow, and then worry about the SoFis and the Rivians and all the crazy stocks as you go. But Apple continues to work today, up to 169.50, more upgrades, $200 price targets. Wow, for Apple. This is going to be a name that we're going to be long here today at some point, man. I mean, 170, what a great. I mean, this is almost, I think this might have moved up to number one now in my portfolio, and I didn't even add to it. It's just, rolling upside. We did add to some NVIDIA yesterday as well, but let's go over to HUT. So HUT 8 is a dual listed name. Of course, it's here in Canada. I remember when our good friend Kevin O'Leary was on, he was dropping some HUT 8 talk in here as well. And again, it's just, it's about the mining. And if you want to get a piece of this, they go up and down with altcoins as well. And it's been such a rough ride for them. Unfortunately, I did not step in yesterday to buy some HUT. I am long. I've been buying it in Canadian dollars, so I'll have to look at that to see where those prices are. But I believe I started a position somewhere around here, which was crazy. And Brendan and I were messaging each other these days between 14 and 15. I think it was around here on this dip. And then we were able to pick some up down in here, 12 or 13. But we didn't pick up any the last couple of days. Maybe the day before I left. Maybe it was 11 or 12. But HUT yesterday falls to $8, which was crazy. And now today you're going to take out 10. So, hey, with crypto bouncing, we can take another look there. ADA up to 144. That's fine. We bought some yesterday at 135. That's a good one. Here's woo, that's a small chart. Here's Ethereum right now, starting to get going as well. This is a 1 minute chart. Let's just check out a 5 minute here for Ether. You could see a nice move up here overnight, so we're happy with that. Back up to 4,400. So I believe HUT, long story short, takes out this $10. It's a great level here. I already have the order to go in. So if this takes out 10 in the pre-market, I'm going to be long. I think they have a chance to go here. Here's the 20-minute chart, and here's 10. You draw a line right here, $10, man. So oops, that's not a line. This is a line. You can see right here, welcome back, Sean, $10 right there. So we'll see if it can take that out. It looks pretty good on the chart. Bounced around here on the third, second. So I like that. A dip down to 8. We'll see what can go with HUT here. I think this is great for exposure. If we come back to 9, we get out. It's $1 of risk, and I think we can go upside here. So I like HUT 8 today. I like it better than coin.
There you go. He likes HUT. I agree with the HUT long. I'm just going to push the price entry location a little bit higher. I'm looking at 1020, 1025-ish, just because I want to give a little bit more space above 10. It seems like there's a little bit of action here. I want to kind of respect a little bit. But if it gets going, you know how these stocks go, it's going to go. First target would have to be at least 11 and change. Downside protection you get until 9. So it's kind of wedged in here between 11 and 9. So if it goes to the downside, you could catch a bid. If it goes through 10s and you get a long, then you have to be prepared to take some profit around 11. But for me, 1020 break, and then a settle back down towards 10 probably caused the entry for me, though.
A bit of a move here for Palantir, not terribly active in the pre-market, but a few people noting this headline this morning. New joint venture with a German chip chemical supplier. There we go. That was out about 8 o'clock this morning there for PLTR. So, yeah, not really doing much, but nice bump there. 3.25%, Sean, for Palantir.
Yeah. I mean, let's not fire off too many hot dogs on those kind of moves, guys. We haven't been happy, obviously, you see by my face here with Palantir. It's been, I mean, this is how it's traded the last couple of days here. They're going to get killed in this environment. We've talked about that. You've seen SoFi go from 26 to 16. You've seen a very similar move in a Palantir here going to the downside. We can also check out some Snowflake. Look, I've said the whole time that this is a name that I believe needs to be bought for longer term. They don't seem to be going in the wrong direction. I mean, they have new consumer business. Obviously, they have the government contracts as well coming through, and then the news today. So we'll see if it can go up 4%. Again, the volume's 400,000 shares. I didn't even really look at Palantir today. This is a 20-minute chart, but I mean, if you can go here to a 1 minute, and we can just, I don't even know where that even open up. My charts are, I mean, welcome back to another day here, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't even have, my charts have closed on me here, Arun. So, okay. But there you go. So Palantir here, I still think you need to take out this $20. I mean, we'll levitate back to 20. I think we can hold this 19, and this is just going on a 20-minute chart here. You have a 19 area right there that's been beat down the last 2 days. We now gap above it, so if you're going to go for like a gap and go strategy right now, we've gapped above $19. I think if you fade back in, that's a fantastic long. I already have bids sitting there on Palantir, but what I was saying is I didn't look at the upside here yet today. I still think 20 has a chance. So I'm going to load up the charts, but you've already gapped above this 20, or above this 19, which is really great, holding backside 18. So we'll see if it can get going here today. I think we've maybe seen the bottom, hopefully. Cross my fingers, but I think we might have seen the bottom here on Palantir. I'm excited for it, but it needs to get above 20 before I think you can sort of, average into this. If we get back into here today, 8, 17, 18, or not even 17, but down low 18s, I think that's a buying opportunity. But I also think it's a nice ticket to punch long here on a swing trade through $20. $20 seems to be a magnet, so we'll see if it can punch through there, swing us up to 22, 23.
100% that 20 is going to be hot. There's a lot of action here going back, 3 trading days or so, around that 1975 going up to 20. So if we can clear 20, that activates some longs there for sure. It does look like there could be a long on Palantir. The issue is, though, it's like, what's the risk if you take it at 1940 where it's trading right now? Because downside is, I would imagine you have to use at least about 1870 or so. So I don't think the risk is worth it. Maybe if it gets close to 19 even or 1910 and then starts to rotate a little bit, you catch a bid off the support level and see if you can actually get it back towards that 1980, 1990 level. But for now, though, at the current price it's at, I wouldn't step in on either side. But if it goes down, there could be a long. Of course, if it takes the 20s out, then there could be a great little long there on the break as well there, Brendan.
All right, a few analyst moves for you this morning, guys. Apple, top of the list this morning. Morgan Stanley increasing their price target all the way to 200. So positive once again for Apple, as we saw there. There's Bumble, JP Morgan upping their price target. PPG, Tesla on here as well. Yes, it's above 1,000. AstraZeneca, this Del Taco, remember, new buyout yesterday, $12.51. The price for TACO, AT&T, and Merck to the downside.
Del Taco, aren't it? New buyout. I guess Neil was probably looking at that one yesterday. I wonder how that traded. Shout out to Neil, chilling out at home. He'll be there tomorrow. And someone put in that they've deployed 25% of their capital to Palantir. So I will send this hat to you. No, I will not. This is from Trader Prad. But look, I think it's good. I think these levels make a lot of sense. If you go down there and you bottom pick some of these names like a Palantir, I like it. And we'll just see. I mean, you're one Kathy Wood tweet away or something like that they've upped their percentages in Palantir before it can go for that little run. Look, we talked about Apple as well. I don't want to beat a dead horse here or anything, but if you're not in Apple, then you've made a huge mistake. And I mean, I know there are a lot of Apple fanboys, I guess, or whatever, aficionados here that say they're never going away from Apple. But I think as a stock, we never really need to leave this one. And I know it's, we talked about it being 11% of the NASDAQ and so on and so forth. And the percentages that it is, 7 or 8% of the S&P 500. So Apple just continues to rock and roll here, making new highs today. More upgrades, as Brendan just talked about it there. The tailwinds. I mean, I was saying to you guys down here, like when the market was struggling, when we got into the 140s, and I said there's no better company with more tailwinds here than Apple. And if you just stuck your money in right here at October 6th into some high quality company, you go from 140 to 170, $14 to $17. If you look at it that way, at a nice easy ride up. It's been pretty simple for Apple, and I think the same thing is going to be true. Meanwhile, look how hard the money's been. And you talked about SoFi. I love SoFi. SoFi is my number one stock on here. It's the sticky note is here for SoFi. Let's call up the sticky note right here. We probably don't even have 100 clicks on this sticky note. I like that. That's sort of a personal goal of mine to get to that. We have 70 right now, so that's fine. Okay, so here we go. 73 likes. Thanks, guys, for that. And I just wrote down here on the sticky note, and I'll share this with you, but it's just right here. I like the 1660, man. You know how sometimes I say too far, too fast? I just like and I put it down right here, I like the rebound potential in this name, and Go Packers as well. I really, really like the rebound potential in this name, and I'll put this back here. I just think it's gone too far, too fast, and I know that's a name that we normally use for the upside. I think this was too far, too fast, but look at SoFi here. I mean, it absolutely got Kathy Wood shedded all the way back down to the downside here, and now you're starting to sort of tick up. You just saw where that tick was, back up here at 1650. I think we could take this level out. If I zoom in even more here, it's right here. It's this 16 area, 1650, 1660, right in here. We actually topped out at 1660, yes, 2 days. Is this yesterday? What day is this? This is 2 days ago. On December 3rd, 1640, 1650, 1660. So we're right in this area right now. I like this. Here's 1660 again. I mean, this is yesterday. This is the second, the high of the second. We like this area. This is an order that I have in to go, and we're going to pound this one. There's 1660 right there. You're going to take this out, just like Palantir. Maybe we've made this bottom down here. We've talked about Intel making some bottoms today, Palantir making a bottom maybe at 19, and I believe the same thing is true here for SoFi at 15. So, hey, look, I like to stick my neck out, make some calls here. This 1660 on SoFi, I think it can go. Oh, what we haven't done yet, Arun, is we haven't looked at the imbalance locator. So let's have a quick look at that here just to see if there's any names on there. NEO, we'll have a look at that. I know Baba, I sold some Baba at 122 the other day, 130 today. So that's nice for Alibaba. I'm just going to get that money out of there as soon as I can on any bump up. Today may be that day. ESVG, Pfizer, what's Pfizer doing? 51, yuck. That's probably a buy. There's a bunch of names that I have to look at now that I'm back, but Pfizer down to 51, Baba nicely up to 130. That's probably going to be a sell for me. Where's Ford today? 1960. Okay, CCL busting through 20. It's trying again, 1912, and then NEO down to $34. This name's probably got to get picked up. But we started this all with SoFi. I like SoFi long. I'm guessing you do too, Arun, but I've been wrong before.
I'm not a fan of SoFi with the prices where it's trading. Look at it. It's congested between the close of the first, all of the second, and the open of the third. There's a ton of action right where we're trading. I wouldn't be comfortable trading this inside of this potential range here. Maybe if we get above 1725, maybe there's a long there. But for now, though, I think there's a ton of stocks to choose from, and I'm not sure SoFi is at the top of the list in terms of setups that I can work with.
We'll talk a little bit about some vaccine names coming up here as well, because that group, I mean, you mentioned Pfizer there briefly, but that group also in positive territory so far this morning. Moderna kind of looking like it might be finding some footing here. Arun, why don't we check out the futures while we have a second, heading towards 9 o'clock here, because we are coming off a bit, but still obviously pretty positive.
Yep, you can't deny the fact that this market is quite positive. We're up 1.81% on the NASDAQ, 1.25 on the S&P, coming off a little bit here. But this isn't surprising that we're coming off at this price point. Let me just zoom this back up a little bit. Let's get a 15-minute chart in here, just so you guys can see what this area contains. A ton of activity. The same reason why I wasn't a fan of trading SoFi is almost the same type of setup here on the futures here. There's a ton of action here going back into late November, early December, around these 4650s. The level I've got here is actually, I don't know why this is even here. It's going to be 4685 is what I'm working with. And I think if you could watch the show, or if you've seen the videos from the 29th or the 30th, 4685 was the level I was marking off. That level's still in place. So shorts can still be on the table as long as we find a setup to do it, but you have to respect the fact that the market is strong. So buy side bias, but be open to the idea of a short if we can get that set up. So around here, I'm expecting a drawdown of some sort. It doesn't have to be strong, but at least just pull back a little bit. I do have a ton of bids out, so I would prefer a drawback so I can actually get some bids filled, and then a move back up would be nice. Now, if we were to, let's just kind of play out different scenarios here. If we were to just fall right off, we fell off twice. We fell off on the 30th and on the 1st around this price point. If we were to just completely fall off, where do you have your support? Well, unfortunately, there's no real levels to work with until we go back to yesterday's price point that we were trading with, which is 45.50. So we've got about 100 points to the downside that I can see that I want to work with. So I might be looking to maybe catch some bids and kind of rotate this over into a long as it slows down near 4,600. We spent a lot of time around 4,600 yesterday, a decent amount of volume, especially in the 90s. So if we get close to 4,600 into the 90s, I'd prefer to kind of rotate this, find a reason to go long, and then go for the long. But if we were to continue to the upside, you really can't do anything about it. Maybe trail this. I've got 35 as the trail point. So this bias, the long side bias, is still in play until we break 46.35. If we were to break 46.35, then I've got to be careful on how I want to go forward, because I still want to go long stocks, but I'm not sure I want to go long futures or even short the futures immediately. So it's a matter of long bias until we break a certain point. If we break that certain point, then you kind of step back a little bit, reassess, and then figure out what you want to do. But I do have 46.85 up top. I've got 45.50 down below. I think that's wide enough for now. I'm also here in studio, so in the event these levels go, I can always create new levels and tell you guys on the fly. But for now, though, it's just 85 up top and 45.50 down below.
Yeah, pretty impressive couple of days back for the market to the upside after the volatility that we had last week. Let's jump into what else is moving around in the pre-market. If you need the morning watch list, guys, that is the link. Absolutely free to you every single day this week, brought to you by X Sigma. Go to sigma-trading.com. For more on that, let's talk a little bit about Intel, because a little bit unexpected here this morning for Intel, up 8% after saying they'll take their self-driving unit, Israel-based self-driving unit public. I've read first half of next year. I've read mid-2022. Sometime next year, it's going to go public. So Intel up nicely here, guys.
Oh man, I want to talk about Merck, but yeah, we'll go over to Intel quickly here. We've discussed Intel a little bit, and I think, Brendan, this is exactly right. Look, they're unable to do it with earnings, right? Their stock has been basically hot garbage here for a year, 2 years or so. But today you're getting rewarded with Intel, and this is what I'm going to talk about. This is the daily range for them. This is Merck, so let's get back onto that. Like, this is the thing, man. Welcome back. Hopefully these charts can go. Like, I hit the number 3, and all of a sudden my chart is completely done. What's DraftKings doing? NFLPA and DraftKings unveil plans for gamified NFT collaboration. Look, I think the NFT space, by the way, I have a #1 serial on Top Shots. I don't know if that probably doesn't mean anything to you, but those of you guys that are on Top Shot, I'll explain that after. But okay, so here's Intel, and this is the thing, and I know Neil's been talking about this one. It's a good dividend play. I think it's like 2%, but you can light that 2% on fire over the last little while. Stocks like Intel, AMD, some of these other names have just been popping like crazy over this exact same period, and you can go all the way back. I mean, this is March of 2020. Like, we basically just made it back to pandemic lows down here, 48, 49, sort of in the last couple weeks. And then now today, a nice little bump up on this mobile. I mean, the thing is that all they're doing is unleashing value. So the thing is like, if you're going to unleash value, that's great, but it was always there. So this is part of it. Like, this is why I say, like, let's break up some Facebook. I guess, are we calling it Meta now? Is that the proper? I guess it is. You could break up Meta, Google, Apple. Don't break up Apple, but any of those, even if you do break up, like, what are they going to do? They're going to break up Apple and make them do different divisions. So I think when Intel comes out with that kind of news, it's great news. They're making that decision to do that. I think it's bumped up too high here. We'll see if they can get more production. They're still a chip company, so let's forget about Mobileye for now. I think that is going to unlock some value. I'm more interested when that actually comes through, what that means to the stock. Remember, when you take out $50 billion out of a stock and put it into a new stock like Mobileye, it does depreciate current assets. So we can wait to see what happens, but you're up here at the 200 period. It's nice that we're finally crossing that, or trying to anyways, at 56. I wrote down Intel here, 55.75, and if we go to a 1-minute chart, this is where I like it. I just like to see that we have to break this top. If we can break the top, which is right here, made at about 8 o'clock when retail came online, then I like it. But other than that, it continues to fade out. It's been fading out all morning here, but still a great bump up for Intel, man. A nice bump yesterday as well. Like, we were just $49 yesterday. Okay, so let's be very, very careful with this. I do like a 55.75 top. Let's go with Intel. And then before I give it back, let me just see if DK... NG, and I've talked about Donkey Kong here. People ask me, hey, where's your buy levels? My buy levels have been at $32, but I hadn't pulled the trigger yet. They got downgraded, or not downgraded. Who was it? It was not Leon Cooperman. Oh, I forget who it was that came out and was talking about this name and just that they're. Who was it? Oh man, it's gonna bug me. But anyways, very, very talking about, that their numbers aren't realistic and they're down here, and they're down here for a reason. Well, look what happens now. Now they get bumped up. I feel like you're gonna regret not buying this 27, 28, 29. That's what it was. Chanos. Thank you so much, guys, for that. But yeah, what he was talking super negative on that. And then you know what I bet he did? I bet you that guy I was going to say a B word there, came in and bought that up all the way back up here. So we're going to see, hopefully some of us are able to take advantage of that DraftKings. It's not really doing too much on that news, but I like the NFT space. And yeah, so DraftKings down here maybe needs to be bought. You have Olympics coming up. I know that's not a huge gambling, but you have NFL playoffs. You have the college football playoffs. Obviously just happened this past weekend, and going to kick it off near New Year's with the bowl game. So, hey, look, I'm excited for DraftKings. I haven't nibbled yet, but this might be a good spot.
We started with INTC, right? Intel?
I don't even know. I believe it was Intel, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go back to Intel because that chart I prefer over the DKNG chart. Going back to Intel, look at the strength. Obviously, this is the E-signal chart, just so I can see a little bit more data here, or show you guys a little bit more data. That move took off, around 7 p.m. last night? And here we are kind of going sideways. There's some decent strength here around 54, some decent resistance here around 56. Like I mentioned off the top here, 56 break would be the preferable trade, but at the same time, respect the idea of going short on this, but I want to see how we trade below 54 first. If we were to take out 54, are we going to find more strength or are we going to lose it? If we lose it, then shorts are on the table trying to take it back down to 51. Now, if we find more strength, that means the level could be a lot bigger than you were expecting. Just wait for it to rotate. Once it finds a solid base, then you go for the long and see if you can get it back to 56. Intel is going to require some work, meaning spending some time and seeing how it trades around certain prices. Obviously, you want breaks. Those are the easier trade. But do be aware that 56 through 54, those two price points are going to be interesting on Intel. And depending on how it goes, it might be a straight up shot to the upside, or it might be one of those trades where you may have to watch it and build it through the bottom.
Just reading about a couple of things here, guys, including NVAX. We'll get to NVAX on the list this morning, but the EU drug regulator saying Novavax vaccine could be authorized fairly shortly in Europe. So NVAX up 3.5%. Let's talk EVs first, though. Tesla had a nice rebound late in the day yesterday, got back above 1,000. Held nicely, ended the day above it. We're higher again this morning. There was an SEC investigation announced yesterday into some whistleblower accusations for Tesla. There's a couple of minor things going on with Tesla, but overall, pretty good hold of that big psychological level yesterday.
Yeah, I wrote down Tesla here, and again, not being here trading it, I wasn't able to see how it was reacting around those levels, but I like that 1020 hold that we had yesterday right here on a break. I mean, I guess it's not a hold, but we took that out. We held it as resistance yesterday, and now today you're above. And I always like to look at Tesla as past resistance become new support, right? So in here, 1015, 1020 or so coming for Tesla. I'm not really too concerned about any of the headlines that come through here. This is a big boy stock, man. I mean, you're up 3.5% again today. The NASDAQ is pulling back down a little bit here, so not that that's worrisome at all. Tesla's going to continue to be this kind of up and down chop fest, I believe, anyways, until the new year. I think there's some tax selling happening in this name. You do get some other jokers like Michael Burry and things like that that are going to come out and say some stuff about Tesla. Also, we had the pressure of Elon selling billions worth of stock. That's, like I said, that's almost like a share offering when those kind of stocks, those kind of shares hit the market. And I think Tesla's held up fantastically. I mean, if you're not going long at 1,000, I don't know what you're looking for in this name unless you're trying to take out the top. But if you're trying to build a position or whatever, get into something. The thing about Tesla that I really like, I just don't see it gapping down like 10% or anything unless something dramatically comes out of that guy's mouth, Elon Musk's mouth here. Because other than that, I love the investment potential here at this 50-period moving average. It's right at $1,000. We've bounced once, twice. I mean, that goes down to 950. But we are all, I wasn't here, but that's yesterday when you dip crazy down there. I don't even know if that's a true print. But then you get back up here and, it will move with dramatic volume. But again, I like Tesla here, and I think it can be bought at these levels, man. 1050, why not? If it pulls back into 1020, I think this is some good levels here. You got that level back on the 3rd, and then yesterday we couldn't break it. So yeah, into this area is a buy for me. We'll put down some stink bids. If we're lucky enough to get some 1020s, we'll do that. But again, if the market starts to move that much, there are going to be other names that I'm in. So for me, Tesla, I know it's maybe a little too expensive for you there, Arun, but let's give a little bit of analysis here if anybody's looking to trade it.
Well, I mean, yeah, I try to stay away from these expensive names. Yes, Tesla's a hot stock, but at the same time, I have my criteria on what I trade. But you can't deny the fact that Tesla's chart does look pretty good. After getting below 1,000 yesterday and kind of delivering on some heavy volume to the sell side, enough bids were able to stand there and take all of this. This went as low as 950 or close to 950 yesterday. Strong rally into the close there. Around 1020 kind of fell off a little bit and closed around 1007 or 1007. And then here we are at 1043. Now, how would you play this? You have to respect the 1,000. You have to respect the 1010, which was what we kind of spent a lot of time around yesterday in the morning and in the close. So there should be some strength around that 1010 mark, but then you have the psychological 1,000 mark. So allow for some slippage on a name like this. I would say 990 would have to be your trigger to get out if you were to go long in front of that 1010 or something like that. So be prepared for a 20-point risk on a trade like this. But the chart looks great, but I'm still not going to take the risk on this because, there's certain criteria that I follow in my trading, and $1,000 just out of my league in terms of price points.
All right, Rivian, another one showing some strength here in the pre-market. They announced aftermarket yesterday. They will release their third quarter results coming up on the 16th of this month after the market closes. So there was 9, count them, 9 analysts yesterday coming out initiating coverage, mostly positive with on Rivian, again on Monday with price targets well above where we are today. So back to 120 here, guys, for Rivian.
Absolutely nuts. Yesterday it was sitting around, 1,000? We were looking at it. It was like, Neil and I, we were looking at it. It was like 1,002 or 3, or not 1,000, 102 or 3.
Tell me you went long and destroyed that.
No, I didn't go long. We were all looking at that 100 short. And man, it just took off to the upside. Yeah, it was like $12, just straight to the upside. And here we are looking for the short on Rivian, but where are we now? Let's just zoom this back out. Look at where we are.
You're telling me you guys, like, you didn't take that Hyundai long? Like
I didn't. I had other trades going on.
No, I know. Just that at those levels, what sparked it? Why did that just go up so much like that yesterday?
I mean,
just the market.
Just the market as a whole. I get it. But the thing is, though, there was a lot of names in the EV space that were kind of setting up, and you had to pick one.
Pick your poison.
Yeah, pick one. And Rivian is the one that just took off absolutely nuts to the upside because Lucid was doing absolute craziness. Because I remember being short and then it got out and then it kind of flipped around and went from like 39 to 44. So Lucid was doing some craziness there as well. But going back to Rivian, 100 mark, clearly a level to keep an eye on. Regardless, we're $20 away, but keep an eye on 100. That's going to be marked off definitely for sure. And there's a decent amount of activity around that 111, 112. So let's just say 112 to 110. That area is going to be hot with some volume as well. But it's getting a little too congested for intraday day trades or position trading. You might be more inclined to go momentum. Maybe there's strength all the way down to 116, but we are in a level where there's a ton of resistance. Look at that, 120. This is going back to late November here. We got 122, 124, 125. So anything to the upside, we got about $4 or $5 worth of resistance to the upside. So any longs is going to have to be at better prices, preferably probably closer to that 116 mark, so you can actually make sense of the risk. But if you go long right here, I'm not even sure where the risk profile, or even if the risk profile makes sense on this trade for now. But you can't deny the fact that Rivian is exciting, has done some crazy moves when it really wants to get going. So definitely keep an eye on it, see if we can't get a trade at some point during the day.
I thought I thought I had Lucid on my sticky note, but we do have it on there. And I just, before I go over the sticky note, I want to talk about Lucid here. Jay Hearn, what's up, Jay Hearn or Herma? Jay Herma. I just want to clarify something. I wasn't here yesterday, but like, can you cover Neil's pick of Tom's? So I don't know what his pick, what that meant. I just want to make it clear to everybody that, Rivian did have a bunch of upgrades. Yeah, no, I mean, what a great stock. I mean, I just can't believe it's up 20% from those lows. But we're going to talk about Lucid, which is up the same 20%. So there we go. These aren't picks of ours. I mean, unless Neil, for some reason, and I've never really heard him make a pick even on the show, other than some higher quality names. But these are just stocks that we're trading. So these aren't like picks that Neil or myself or Arun, and again, I don't want to speak for everybody, but like just because we say we like Lucid here today or Rivian or any of the stocks that Arun talks about, even with the futures, we are scalping a lot of these names. And I just know that a name like a Tom's there, we will talk about that. It'll come with breaking news and things like that. But these aren't necessarily our picks. So I just wanted to just make that clear that, we're not giving investment advice here or anything. I just find that that's a very, very slippery slope to go through there. Here's Lucid. 47, I think it's a nice spot to bump up here, man. Wow. And I said, wow, this thing touched 40. And actually, as I look at it there, Arun, I couldn't believe that thing touched 40 yesterday, but it actually touched 38, like you said, there in the morning. I was looking at these bump downs here to 38, 39, and I didn't zoom in. I didn't even go to a 1 minute chart. Yeah, so there's, I mean, no wonder why when you guys were looking at Rivian there, you were thinking about some downside moves. What an explosion to 38, and then it just took off. So the same way, just like you mentioned, and then now you're up to 47. So 38 plus 20% is right here. So it's the same 100 to 120 on Rivian. The only thing about Lucid is I like it. It's a little bit less value, less price stock. So I think it's a bigger opportunity for retail to get involved. There's going to be some options plays here on a Lucid heading into this Friday, and then the 17th, which we know is quad witching, year end, everything happening. So I do think that the EV space is going to be real spicy the next couple weeks. So yeah, hell yeah, I like Lucid breaking this 47. I don't have any stink bids right now, but I think we're going to put some right here around this 45. 45 was the close yesterday, so 44 and change. If we could pick something up around 45 and then use, honestly, if this dips down and we have to punch out, I mean, if we get out at 44, I think it's worth taking $1 worth of risk early just to see if it does want to get going. Because look, we get a 45 bid, I think we can return to 47, man. That's $2. And on the downside, if we're going to punch out at 44, that's $1. So 2 to 1 R to R here. I like that risk to reward, and we'll just move on from it. But Lucid for me is a play more than Rivian, just because, again, 1 million shares here in the pre-market. I like Lucid. And before we go back to Brendan, man, I feel like I've already talked a hell of a lot here, and it's only 9:14. I just said to Arun, wow, it's only 9:06 or whatever time it was. Unbelievable. Ford here coming up here to the buy side as well. So 2 electric car companies right there, and then we'll wait. Obviously, this is not going to be on as NASDAQ doesn't come out till later on in the day, so in the morning, 9:25, 9:28-ish. There's Palantir as a buy as well. Oh, there's my friend Fisker. What's up, Fisker? I really, really like Fisker, man. I think at their valuation, they might be one of the cheapest names down here. So we'll look at Fisker. And then there's Disney. We talked about buying this at 142, not 152. Now you're all the way back. Nice to see Disney battling back. I have not gotten any more money in this name, as we sold some at 175. Didn't buy back in. That might be a mistake.
Interesting to see NIO with a big bid there on the imbalance locator. A lot of Chinese names, even the online education companies, showing strength here in the pre-market. Alibaba up for the second day in a row here. 4.5% pre-market. We're back to 130. If you remember yesterday, they announced they were going to completely reorganize their e-commerce business, including a whole bunch of management changes, essentially splitting it into a second division for the company. So we're 2 days in a row here back to the upside for Baba.
Baba was one of those stocks where it was just 2 days of hype trading. It was that day where you were short, 119 short, which, I fumbled a little bit. That short was there. That was an easy $10. And then essentially once you got above 114, catch a bid, you go for the long, and then you ride that long out. Now here we are gapping into resistance going back to late November or early December, and things get a little bit more tricky again. It was easy down here at these prices. Now we're starting to get a little dicey with where supports are, where resistance is. I'm not sure how to trade this at all, because if I were to say, let's say I were to go long at 130, I got to worry about 131 resistance going back to the 30th and the 29th of November. Then you're 132. You still have that area. Then you have 133, 134. There's a ton of action going all the way up. Where does it clear? I mean, it pretty much clears all the way. It clears at like 148. So at some point, this thing has to open up and give you new levels to work with, because the existing levels are going to get a little, kind of restrict you in terms of how much upside you have. So what would be preferable? A downside move into maybe 124 or so. You can open up something around 124, going on down to 119 would be the easier trade. A downside move with a long off of support, and then use this 119 as your kind of stop out. But the way it's trading right now, it doesn't look like it wants to do that. It's already gapped up, and it looks like it wants to keep going towards the 130s. And if that's the case, definitely hands off, because it gets dicey and gets hard to read. in those types of situations. Futures are coming off a little bit. We're at 46.45 now. I think when I started talking about futures, we were at like 51 or 52. Now we're at 45. So they are coming off a little bit here. So hopefully that translates into some stocks, because I would prefer a drawdown in the actual stocks themselves, so I can actually catch some bids there.
All right, just quickly here, there's a breaking news. I mean, it's not crazy, but Chewy right here, going to get into the pet insurance game with Trupanion. So Trupanion is TRUP. Their stock not really moving. It's come down a little bit, but I just want to look at this Chewy name right here. If you want to put on, you want to put on some serious risk here and talk about a name that, does have $1 right now worth of spread, I am going to punch a small ticket long here at 63 if it gets going. I just wonder what this means. I don't know enough about the pet insurance business, but I do know insurance and that it's a good one. So when I did have my pug, who's passed, but pugs have big problems, and we actually had Trupanion as insurance, and people do like to support their animals. Obviously, there it's not expensive. Well, I guess it turned out to be expensive. I don't know if we ever used it, but up here to $63. I like that there for Chewy. So getting a deal with not a deal, but just they're stepping into the insurance area realm, I guess, with Trupanion. So there's Chewy right there. I like a 63 break. Obviously, they've been beat down pretty good, man. I've been in this name since IPO, and it's been a really, really good one. And I've gotten a lot out of this name, and we're not really in it too much anymore. But I do watch it because it's at these key levels one more time. So Chewy's down here. Again, some nice value. We talked about how good it's been since its IPO. It's been absolutely fantastic. We've gone out of this name a couple times. Shout out to my friend Daniel Shea, who also, I know she's liking this or has liked this name. I haven't checked back with her in a bit, but I like Chewy here, making some nice bottoms and now on news. So if you want to put something in the old portfolio there to look back maybe in 3 or 4 or 5 months when they get that all sorted out, I do like that. New trade alert right now, Palantir, yuck. Palantir new trade, so we'll put on this for right now. This is the new trade siren, so when we get into something brand new, we'll try to hit that one for you. And there it is right now. So Palantir, where's my 1 minute chart? Comes all the way back in right now, and you're seeing what the NASDAQ is doing here, Arun. Kind of coming back in. I don't think we'll test 16,000 today, but that's, I always fear like there is, some kind of a magnet to that level as well. That's been pretty key. So right here, NASDAQ coming back in. We're taking a shot on Palantir right now. We like this 1870 area. If we break back down below 1870, we gone there on Palantir, but we do take a 21 bid there. We actually only get part filled. We don't get it all, but it comes back into 21. As per usual, if we can get back up here to near VWAP, 1930, 1940, we'll take a bid out right now, but with only 10 minutes to go. I'm excited, and we'll see, man.
There's a super chat for you regarding Palantir.
All right, let's go. Edward L. What's up, Edward L? Not Edward Scissorhands. Bag holder. Well, you're not holding the bag too much on Palantir. It just depends when you got in, right? I mean, and the thing is that I believe Palantir there with new consumer business. They've talked about that coming through on the commercial side rather than, the business side of things. They have all the government contracts. They've been a pretty solid name. It's just the stock price obviously been getting hit down here. And remember about Palantir, guys, is it's still a relatively new name to the market, right? We just IPO'd back in September. Back in September of 2020, but we've been through a year, so we've just crashed its birthday, and now you're coming back down into some of these levels, like a DraftKings, like a lot of these names. We're retesting some of these lows. Obviously, we'll get super worried if we come back down here to 13, 14, 15. But look, Peter Thiel, I mean, it should be run by the right people. It's 20 years business. This is not a new name, but they're not profitable yet. I am nervous about that, but at the same time, I like their growth prospects. And I mean, we got to sort of define what holding bags are here. I mean, hopefully you didn't punch too many tickets at these tops. And this is what I mean. How much expectations, Ed, do we have for this name when we have 27, 27? All these 27s and 28s kept getting rejected. So now that you're back down here to 19 isn't the end of the world, but I would like to get above this 22, 23 area, and that's where I'm a buyer. I'm going to add to my position once we get a little longer in the tooth here through 20. But right now, Palantir on the day, a nice little win for us. We're already in the money 10 cents. Not that that's huge, but we'll take a little bit out here on Palantir as hopefully we get bumped up into this view up, which we're right there right now. So good trade so far.
All right, another little
Just popping up on a headline, Gevo, renewable fuels deal inked for GEVO, the largest supply agreement to date for the company. So 24% here on decent volume for GEVO. Let's get through a few here if we can, guys. SoFi on the list this morning. We talked about it briefly there. CF Acquisition Corporation as well. We can talk about the Rumble SPAC back to the upside in the pre-market here. It's worth noting DWAC not really as active as the past couple of days. And we should get to the travel stocks as well, because the entire market was kind of put on the back of the travel sector yesterday and marched back to the upside. So a few options here, guys, for the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, I'll start with travel names just because I have a long on AAL. Nice little long here, just north of 1850. Stop on this is south of 1770. It looks like it's going to be right through the bottom from yesterday's low, or not low, but the afternoon low that we put in around 1780 or so. It seemed like there was enough strength here. Now, above 18 with decent kind of volume trading above 1850. We kind of traded above it for a little bit here. Here we are coming back off from that 60 or what is that, 65 high. Here we are at 46 and change. I'm long on 53. I'm perfectly okay with this. I'm also perfectly okay trading inside of this, meaning I'm expecting this to kind of support us, because let me zoom in here a little bit. This is the 5-minute chart. Let's move that out. Apart from this, half an hour or so, from 9:30 to 10 o'clock, where we got up to 1790, call it 18 even, the rest of the day after 10 o'clock was spent between 18 and 1850. So I would imagine there's going to be a decent amount of support and volume coming through here around 18. That's what I'm banking on for this long at 1850. And if I need to take the hit, it's got to be below all of that. So it's got to be below all of the volume that was being traded around that from 10 o'clock onward. So it's got to be below 1780. That's why I'm using 1770 and change. If we get below that, I'll just kind of dump this one here. Now going back to other names like DWAC and SoFi. Now, SoFi we mentioned off the top here. The way SoFi was trading at certain prices, I wasn't a fan of the chart. Now, it could absolutely explode, but the way you got to pick your shots, right? And as a trader, you only have so much that you can look at. And SoFi wasn't setting up. And I'm looking at DWAC. Is this setting up that I can work with today? The answer to that is no. Look at where we are. Maybe if we were to go down another $3, $4 into this 42 area, then you can catch a bid off this 42 with a 41 stop or even a 40 stop, preferably a 40 stop, and see if we can actually get it back into the kind of middle of the range here. But to the upside, we're limited by 50. To the downside, we're limited by 40. We're trading at 45.71. It's kind of right in the middle there. I just saw something flash. I think that was NASDAQ imbalances coming out. Let's take a quick look at some imbalances here. Let's move that around. Let's get some New York and NASDAQ. Move this off. What do we got? Size. SQQ, 1.1 of the short side. Ford buy side, 911,000. NEO buy side, 810,000. And MTVC.U, 637 to the sell side. So SQQ, index playing. Okay, so there's some imbalances on the index names today here, or on the ETF, on the index side of things. So go back to DWAC though. We're mid-range. I'm not sure what I would do with this. If anything, I wouldn't do anything. I would prefer not to trade this. There's so many names. Like Neil or Brendan mentioned, we have travel names. We have crypto names. You have the big tech names as well. You have Apple moving. You have Facebook or Meta moving. NVIDIA, AMD. So I've got some lists here that I want to go over. We'll go through them after we come back from Brendan.
NVAX as well, guys, with a big move back to the upside. Remember, EU regulators saying their vaccine could be approved fairly shortly here. I want to talk about this one, a little tiny nano cap type mobile device company, SYTA. It's actually a Canadian company, interestingly enough. 2.5 million shares on the float for this. Very, very tight if you're going to trade this to the downside, as I am right now. So 480 was that last little pivot. I will be done with this if it gets above that. Above 5, this thing actually has some moved room to the upside to get back into some of these levels from going back a month or two ago. We can get above 5 and then 550. There might be room to the upside here for SYTA. Big volume.
All right, going back to some names here. NVIDIA, that's a name I want to look at. Remember, we're looking for tech names. Well, for now, we're looking at tech names just because they're hot right now. Apple's moving, so that's the one thing we're looking at towards 170, and then NVIDIA. I like this move down. The fact that we're above 310, we were above 310, now we're at 309.40. If we were to come back down, I've got 297, I think, marked off as NVIDIA's bottom end. Preferably, if we get above 312, that would be where the long is, but there's going to be some support here if we were to come back down. Again, this kind of represents how the rest of the market looks. The market has taken off, and then a little move down would kind of activate some support buying there. As I'm watching AAL just completely fall off here, bids falling off. Now it's at 1830 by 1843. What is going on AAL? Okay, I'm long at 53, but I'm banking on some support here through these 18s. We mentioned it off the top here.
All right.
And NVIDIA through 312 would preferably be the trade, but there is some support going on down all the way down to 300.
All right, so let's hit the, good. Well, this is going to be exciting open,
Yeah.
I believe, here. Anyways, there goes AMD. So we punched that ticket long already. This is on the sticky note right here. We talked about AMD and why we liked it right here. 144, Friday's close here on AMD. So we'll take that long here on AMD, and we'll see where it goes. I mean, this is not a big, huge position because, again, it's pretty early, obviously, and we don't want to just punch highs here when the NASDAQ could easily come back in, and we'll look to see if that does happen right now. But 142, let's see if we can defend that back to 142 and change for some decent bids there. Hut 8 also right now, punch our ticket long on that one. We're 3 longs right now. Palantir, we've already took out that 12 cents there, and it's ripping up even higher right now on Palantir, so hopefully that'll be a winner for us. Hut 8 trying to go right now. The bell's coming up, so who's on the bell? Ford right now with a nice little bid. Oh yeah, there he is. It's Randy, Mr. Randy on the bell, getting ready to rock and roll there. You can see him in the background. CCL1, Neo, Ford, everything's starting to go upside. We have Hut targets out, so if that rips, will be nice. And then AMD trying to catch some stink bids, as we said now. If we can get it back here to VWAP, which is like 143 and change, we will do that. But let's see if AMD can fly with only 20 seconds left, man. SoFi's trying to go as well, back down to the downside here near 16 and change for SoFi. See if we can pick up something downside there as well. Okay, there goes the countdown right now with only 10 seconds left. Good call, Arun. It's going to be 2 seconds late, but we're getting ready to rock and roll. Stink bid time on AMD. What's up, Randy?
Oh, there it goes.
And there we go. We are now open. Thank you, Mr. Trader TV. Randy is in the building. All right, let's see what happens here with AMD. It's going to open up right now to a little bit of a lower open. So interesting to me here. SoFi starting to go as well. We're going to average into this bid here on AMD, guys.
Yeah, I'm looking at, okay, there we go. AAL finally snapping back down. I was told by the chat that there was CEO news on AAL. Initial drawdown on AAL completely to the upside now. Now we're at 1863, up 10 cents or so, running strong. This is the kind of support I wanted, but it is all over the place right now on AAL. We also have a long in Disney as well. Sean talks about Disney all the time. We've got a long here just in front of 152 and change. Looking for a bid. Okay, where's your stop on Disney? It is south of 148. So we are definitely putting up some risk for the Disney long, but there's strength here, so we'll let it play out and see if we can actually get a rally. So for now, AAL and Disney long. CEO news on AAL, fine. I mean, I got long before it came out or even reacted to it, but I'm okay with that because the trade was based on what I was seeing on the chart. So we'll just live with what happened. And I've got other things popping off here. Let me figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of this.
There is a lot of popping right now. Okay, so we'll try to get into some SoFi longs as well. We did average into our AMD, and unfortunately, that really was the trade. I mean, we talk about sitting here and trying to pick some bottoms. AMD right there on a nice bottom pick should have definitely been had there. So we missed that AMD trade on the bottom because we did take that 44 high. So now we have to let this thing settle down. Look at the NASDAQ, man. The NASDAQ is starting to go here. Yeah. So that's a little strange to me why we're giving back a little bit here on AMD. So we'll see where this wants to test to the upside right now. SoFi does come down a little bit here, Arun. So we are into that now at 1620. We'll see if that one wants to continue to work. But right now it looks like AMD really the only name that's in a problem situation for me.
Yeah, I'm looking at another name I'm looking at here, Home Depot, south of, where is it? Yes, here we go. Load it up, come on now. This is one of those names, and as I'm talking, AAL coming back below this 1850. So it looks like we're gonna get a lot of back and forth trading. Now it's back to the sell side on AAL, back to that 1830 where we were in the pre-market. A nice little flash to the upside. Now back to the sell side we go on AAL. We're still long, we're still holding based on what we saw on the chart, so we'll leave it be. If we need to take the hit, we'll take the hit. But Home Depot coming into support. Okay, now this is where I want to start working some longs here, but the stop on this is going to be all the way down here, 407.50. South of 408, we're about $8 away. There's no way I'm taking a long this far out, but at the same time, I got to be aware that once we get into the 413s, the 414s, there could be some support buying here that I can work with to kind of build along. So we'll just wait on that. As I talk though, Disney taking off to the upside here. Disney 66 cents in the money off that 152 long. Stop on this was about $4 below. Now, if we can take that 153 out, we can open up the pre-market highs and just absolutely take off to the upside. What are futures doing? Taking off. Nice little support long off these mid 40s. Remember, I said if we broke 46.35, that's where I would give up the long bias on the futures. No, this is now in play. Strong bias is still going well, and we're getting through this resistance here. We got to kind of work our way through it, but it's going to take some time. But now at least this offers an opportunity to start buying up some futures contracts as well, as long as this level can hold well and support this kind of activity. So now we know that they're going to buy off the open. I'm going to turn this like bias level into an actual level to work with. So 35, let me mark that down. If we were to come back down into the 50s and put some support longs in there, then maybe a long could be on deck on the futures as this thing takes out the pre-market highs.
All right, yeah, so good talk there, great talk there actually. As right now AMD is trying to fall back down here, so we've picked up a nice bid. This is the futures right now back to day's high here, like Arun was just mentioning, so hopefully this will spark this to the upside. No idea there on this. I think crypto's going right now, and I don't know why HUT 8 isn't. So HUT now back down 5%. We did punch the ticket long at 10, and we averaged in here at 980 on these days, on these pre-market lows. Again, not much. It's now approaching 1 million, but that wasn't much volume there. We just took a stab as we didn't think it was going to continue to fall. This thing breaks 9, we're gone on HUT, but that's going to be a little bit of a problem for us. But one name that's not a problem at all, as we're feeling like Superman with SoFi, man. We came through with this name. We talked, let's get another piece out here at 48 if we can. Yes, sir. Oh, we missed it. Oh, damn it. Thought we got that 48, but we didn't. As SoFi going all the way to the upside, we're long at 20s. We talked about buying that dip early there, Arun, so that's going to be a good one for us right there. And let's go right now. Hopefully AMD can as well get elevated. We just take a 143.30 out. Good trade. I mean, that was, you know, we knew we were going to get wicked into something today, and it just happens to be that AMD trade all the way near I mean, not wicked in, but that's what happens there off the open. The NASDAQ imbalances come out, they spike lower, higher, and then that creates this action to the downside here off the open. But we average in, no fear, man. Mr. Average is here, as you got to believe in some of the names that you like. There goes Palantir right now, back up to 40. We'll take a kick out again if it just needs 50 one more time or somewhere around there, as we can't rest on these. Like, we've averaged in, and they've been working out. Not on Palantir, one trade, but again, it went to the high side there. We didn't take it out. So, you know, let's get a little more aggressive with some of these outs here.
Yeah, I'm just setting an order for I just picked up a position in Airbnb, which is $1.50 in the money. I put a bid down. I wanted to catch it on the move down, just in front of 184.20. Here we are, 184 and change. Let me just give me a second as I get the stop in there. Here we go. Let me get the Airbnb chart. Here where we are. There we go. All right, that's the play on Airbnb, guys. Right long right there, right at the bottom of that wick. $1.50 in the money. Why? Because there was a nice little base around 182 and change. Yeah. I didn't think we can get to 182, so I just put it 50 cents higher, and here we are, $1.60 in the money on Airbnb. We are looking for a high run towards that 188 and change. Risk on this is about just north of $4 or so. So I know the reason I'm willing to put up $4 is because I'm fairly confident that we can actually get this 188. So I'm going to let this trade out. Disney fell off for a little bit, was for a positive, and then turned negative, and now is back above 152. So that's 30 cents in the money. AAL, oh man, I guess they don't like the news. We still got support, but it doesn't look like they like the news on AAL. So we're going to have to wait on that one to kind of let it digest it. Brendan?
DD Global, remember, was up 10% at one point yesterday. Here we go again, guys. Delisting from the New York Stock Exchange, no problem. Another 6.5% for DD again today on huge volume.
Yeah, let's go, man. Let's go with all these Chinese names. I mean, I'm still holding the bag on some of them, that's for sure. Well, only one, actually, Alibaba. We've talked about that a little bit. Okay, so HUT 8, man. I mean, there's our 960 bid. We talked about defending some of that $9 area. As long as crypto keeps going up, which it's trying to do anyways, I don't mind this play. So we'll wait to see what happens here with HUT 8. We just took a little bit out now. Our average price 84, so it's not, you know, it's not a great average price by any stretch of the imagination here, but we're only 10 cents out, so hopefully that can continue to work for us. AMD, man, good out for us right there again. We'll keep on doing this. Like, you know, feel lucky that we're able to get some out. Like, oh, look at this, now crashing right back down. And we break through 142, man. This is a very, very aggressive name. I'm gonna take another piece out right now. This is a big move to the downside as the NASDAQ's trying to crack lower. So we're actually long at 142.80. It hasn't been a problem for us. It's a positive stock, but you know, with this move cracking down here on the NASDAQ, this is not looking great for our AMD trade, but we'll wait to see. SoFi right now, nice one, man. Back up. We got that out right there. So yes, sir, the money bags at our SoFi comes right up. And this is why I said that we need to put some offers out to make sure we get out of some of these in case the market does fall back down. And we do the same thing for Palantir. It rips right back up into the mid 40s. So we take a 20 long, out 44 or 43 or whatever that was, 42 right there. So a nice out for us on Palantir. The big trade for me that's really not working because we only have one out is going to be HUT. I mean, HUT 8 continues to make moves to the downside here. So we do have to watch NASDAQ. We do have to watch the crypto market. But Bitcoin right now, 51.2. And Ethereum, what is Ethereum at? 43.75. So HUT 8, I don't know, man. This is a strange one to me. I'm expecting this to go right back up.
Yeah, another position I just took a long. I feel like I got way too many longs. GME, I just picked up a GME long here. I'm putting a stop south of 170 now. I've got 175 and change, so it's a $5 risk on this one here, but not a fan. I'm not a fan at all of the way it's moving around. I'm looking to bail on is this Disney position. There's too much action on the sell side now coming in north of 152. Now, initially wanted to go off that long or off that 152 support level. What looked like support in the pre-market anyways. And then I want to say there was about 15 minutes of straight selling. Every time we got up there, we just sold. So maybe 152 is not the right price for this kind of a risk profile. So if it were to get back above 152, I'm just going to dump this position, see if I can't reprice it later. If it can't, though, this is not the right location to be dumping any trades. So I kind of have to stick it through in the event that it were to keep going down because there's a ton of support I can still work with. It's just that the price of 152 probably isn't the best. So I'm looking to dump Disney if it were to get back above 152 and kind of reprice this trade for a different time. Goddamn AL. AL is refusing to go up. I guess, you know, I shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? AL, when it was above 1850 off that open, that flash above the open, that may have been the opportunity to get out of this. But we've got support, and that's the only thing I've got left banking on this trade here. We're looking to get out of Disney. AL, we're going to sit through. Market's flashing up a little bit here. I've got that GME position now in the money a little bit. And futures moving back to the upside slightly. 46.55 is where we are. Brennan?
Snowflake, guys, big mover so far, 5.5% here. Just broke 360 on a huge volume spike. So up nicely on a couple of positive notes for Snowflake today.
All right, yeah, so that should be helping Palantir, which it is. Nice little 30-cent bump up here for Palantir. As Palantir, put it on the money board right now for Palantir, as that's a nice trade for us coming through here. So hopefully, that will remain a nice trade for us as Palantir long 1920. And we talked about that, Edward. What's up, Edward? You asked about that trade. Hopefully that'll work out for you in the long run. Okay, we got out of AMD on a 142 break. But then the futures held, and now we like the long. So out where we got out and back in at that same spot using 41.50 now as our out. If it breaks lower, then we're out of this one, and that would suck pretty badly there for us. Not suck, but you don't like to go 0 for 2 here on AMD, and it looks like that may happen one more time as, yeah, this is the last time we're going to try this. There's so many better names for us, including a SoFi. Like, we punched this 60, man, we're up to 65. SoFi, now it's going to show me with a position of 53, but you know, we've already cleaned out a lot of this, and now we average into 60. So that's why right now SoFi is starting to head back to the downside. So not a great trade. And there it is again, one more time. We'll flush AMD down the toilet, man. We tried it at these levels. Maybe now. Make sure we don't have any other orders pending here. No, we do not. Now we got to wait, man. I mean, let's just wait to see if the NASDAQ wants to hold up. AMD continues to flush. Maybe we're lucky enough to get something down here near this 140.50. That's going to be a spot that I'm going to look at right now for AMD because so far not so good here as we took it early and we won, but then we gave that back right here. Ooh, there's a nice bottom wick. We like looking at those. 140.130 right there. Oh, nice move for AMD back up.
So I've bailed on that Disney position. Like I mentioned to you guys, the way it was moving, not a fan. I can take it was like a 6-cent hit or something. I can walk away from that right there. Long in front of 152, the way it was trading, don't like it, don't need to put up the risk. So take the small hit, walk away, and kind of focus elsewhere. I've got that Airbnb position. I've picked it right off the bottom there. It's kind of flirting with that 184, but refuses to stay above. So that's one of those positions where I do like the chart. I do like the way it's been trading, so I'll leave that alone. I don't want to mess with it. GME is another trade I picked up here that I want to talk about. GME got it just north of 175, and now this chart I'm okay with. Why? Because of where we are. Look at where we are. It's right here north of 175. We've got resistance. We've cleared resistance from the third and pretty much all of yesterday as well around that 173. So if I'm going for the long at 175, the stop's got to be below all of that. So I'm using 170 as a clean level. Now, what's the target on this? Up here. I'm looking at 180, 181 as the first target. We'll see how this trades out, how it trades out through the rest of the day. But I do like that type of setup. Those kind of trades I'll be more patient with just because the setups are there and they can require, they just need time. It's not like the volume's coming in to kind of blow up my read. It just needs time. It's just not getting the kind of aggression that you would want off the open. But Disney is a different story because there's a lot of volume coming on the sell side. I could be wrong on Disney, but at the same time, I don't care. I'd rather be wrong.
Yeah.
I'd rather be wrong by 6-7 cents than hope for me being right and this thing never works out for me. So I can walk away from that trade. As I talk though, damn, futures taking off. 45.60 is now the top end. I am looking for longs on the futures. I just needed to get it closer to that 46.50 marker because the stop on this again is going to be somewhere close to 46.35. So there is a trade to be made on the futures. It's just a matter of when and where can I get it? Of course, we have 46.85 as a top end level to work with as well. So potential shorts are still on the table. But for now, though, respect the bias, respect the strength, and see if we can actually get a run at some point that slows down, that sets up the long trade as well.
Yeah, and I just want to comment there, the same thing that Arun was just talking about, and this is why we got out, and I don't even have a bid on AMD anymore. I canceled that talk. The futures did start to go, and look at AMD, started to come back to the downside. So I actually feel like, where we got out and everything, probably best just to leave this for now, and then we'll see where it goes. We are in some new names, so a new position alert right now with Lucid. Look, it's just funny because none of these longs really today are working out for us. So we have to wait to see if we're going to be lucky or not on some of these positions here today. Lucid, wow, big move to the downside here. Even though we're just flat, we were rocking and rolling. You can see the similar thing here for Rivian. I still believe that into this 44.20 area is not bad. So I think a break of 43, that's too low. But a break here of 44 is something that we need to look at for Lucid. So we're going to average into that name and expect this to go back up. I mean, what we expect doesn't necessarily always happen. But right there, Apple's up to 170. So let's see if they can carry this market to the high side. A 44 break and we're out of Lucid. I just got to make sure that I have that trade booked in here.
Yeah, and I'm looking at INTC, guys. Remember, we were talking about INTC,
yes.
Boxed it between 54 and 56. They just took out 54. But the thing is, though, there's some strength coming in on INTC below 54. What I'm thinking of doing is if the strength can maintain and get us back above 54, I might just go for the long because I feel like that could have just been a run on stops here below 54. It makes sense. The move was only, what was it, like 53.36 or something? So the quick flash to the downside, especially at a level where it was pretty obvious that we kind of had to get through it to kind of maybe even see a little bit more downside. The fact that we can't stay below makes me think that, there might be a long on INTC. I'm going to wait, though. I'm not going to jump in just yet, but I'm going to wait to see how this one plays out. I'm still waiting on Airbnb. It wants to keep coming down a little bit. That might take some time. We've got GME still kind of flashing to the downside, so we're going to wait on that one as well. And AAL just refuses to rally. I'm not even sure if I can get this 1850 back, but we are at support. So at some point during the day, if we get that rotation, that'll be helpful for me.
I was wondering what we're looking at here really with Lucid, and I don't know, let's look over at Rivian. I'm going to give this one to 44 flat, so we'll average into 44.40, 44.50, somewhere in here, and try to hold this. As we know, this is a pretty violent name, so we're willing to do that here on LCID. But what is Rivian doing exactly? Yeah, okay, so Rivian gave back a lot. Not a lot, but 120 down to 115 into some of these areas right here, 114. That's been a decent area for this name as well. But you're getting a bump up here on Rivian, so let's hopefully expect for the same in in Lucid, as I look at SoFi, talk about a name that's bothering me a little bit here. I don't know. Why did we like that 60? I mean, we talked about that, and I know you didn't really like that trade either. It was working for us great off the open, but here's 1660. I thought that if we came up here and looked at this, that we would take it out, because SoFi's been way too far, way too beat down too fast here, I believe, off of what was a great quarter for SoFi. So I'm a little bit surprised that we didn't continue this move through 1660. So you can see that's where we're in. Where do I have an out? I don't even have a stop order for this name yet. I mean, I'd like to think that if we break 16, we don't break it for very long. And if we have to retest some of these back fills, like 1580 maybe, if we break that. I don't know. I don't really want to die on this sword here that is SoFi here today. But again, I like the name, so we're going to have to do that. Look at this. Too far, too fast, man. I think that's true here for SoFi. So let's go back to Brandon and then rethink some more about this name.
Yeah, Novavax, guys. NVAX, another day high here. Now 12% to the upside. Remember, a couple of positive notes there in the pre-market for NVAX. So another volume alert there at day highs for Novavax.
Another name that's actually coming off a little bit here, that could be setting up a nice little trade, is Roku. Took off through 215 all the way to 220 and now back down again. That was quite a move. I want to say, how much volume was done off that? 199,000 shares, which is next to nothing for a name like this. So 199,000 has only done 487 on the day so far, and here we are retracing that 5-point move all the way up. So we're coming back to support here around that 215. I've got 208 marked off. If I were to go for the long, 208 has to be the stop. But at the same time, I'm not on board with this long just yet. I do see the potential for this long. I see the setup. I just want to make sure that if I'm going to put up the risk, it's got to be there. The potential has to be there. I just want to make sure that that 215 through 214 is going to hold well. If it does hold well, I'll definitely be on board with that. As I talk, though, AAL continuing its downward move. Airbnb coming back almost flat now. GME is just flashing. I think there's a spread on GME. Yeah, it's like a 50 cent, not even a 50 cent, more than a 50 cent spread on GME. We're long north of 175. So if this decides to go up, that spread could close and actually take off to the upside. But for now, I've got the 3 positions. I'm actually looking to get into, I want to preferably get into Roku if it holds well. And INTC we mentioned, INTC, remember we were talking if it was going to hold that 54 mark, there could be a long. Yeah, no, it can't hold that 54 mark. So clearly sell side is going to be the way to go on INTC. I'm going to actually go ahead and see if I can't throw an order down and get a fill somewhere close to.
Okay, so here goes Lucid.
Which one?
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say somewhere close to 54, preferably on the short side with INTC.
Okay, well, Lucid's going, man. We just took a nice little profit on that one, so the money bags are finally starting to come through. What's up, Brendo?
The Silvergate, it looks like, yeah, SI just popping up on a volume scanner here at day highs, trying to go positive, in fact. So some of the crypto names starting to head back to the upside. Big volume here on SI, guys.
So Seattle Mobile right now up 140%, 30%, and starting to go. I put a 650 break in there, and I don't know what happened. I mean, the high of the day is 650. I shouldn't even be long this because we were waiting for a 650 break, so it should have triggered at 651. The high of the day here is 650, so I don't know why that triggered, but we're still into this name. That's fine. I like it through whether or not I'm in now or on the break. Hopefully it breaks, then we'll be fine. But this back down to 597, $6, something like that. We'll average in one time. We tried to get the average in right now. It only goes down to 27. We'll see if we can get it in the teens on an average in for Seattle Mobile right now, as that's a name that I like coming in here. So hopefully that'll be a breakthrough. And if you're going to look, sometimes you look at the past, you see a nice little move to the upside right here on Seattle. Brendan, if you can refresh me, you probably already came with this, but we were so busy. We're at the 200 period right now. Then you have a 7 bottom as well. So like if we break through 650, let's not get too worried about it. But you have a 7 top. What's up, Brendo?
Distribution agreement for Seattle Mobile. Remember, 2.5 million shares on the free float for that one as well. I said 480 above that, go for it. Long. BBIG, Vinco Ventures. Speaking of low float stocks, BBIG trying to go here as well, guys.
All right, and then just, so we'll talk about that. That's good on the distribution deal for Siata Mobile. Good name, good company there. Look at Lucid right now. This is a daily chart. I need the 1 minute chart to show you guys what we're doing here on this name. We picked up some Lucid at the bottom. We talked about this. We like this name at 45. It came in at 45.20. We should have averaged in at 45. We didn't. We were waiting for a little bit lower. Actually, 44.60 was our low bid, but now you're up to the upside here. So we're turning our frown upside down today, big time. Heroes are starting to go. Lucid now, 40 cents in the money. Hut. Someone said, okay, so you just talked about Silvergate there, SI, and it was like, why did I pick Hut? Well, I mean, realistically, the problem was just right here that it took out 10, and we're not going to put these orders anymore. We're trying to learn from our mistakes, and that's a big one that we keep doing. We saw us get hit on AMD because of that, and it is just taking an early break when we don't really need to do that. We let the market open up and settle down, and then some of these bids would be completely fine. But this is why we took it. Hut did a nice move down to $8 yesterday. Wow, what a great move that was. Bouncing up again and now 20% in the money if you took that bottom. But look at this. This is that $10 level right here. You back tested it on the second, and then on the third it was the high, and then this morning it was the high as well. So we figured, again, looks like it's going to be wrong, that a break higher here for Hut would have brought us into this next area, which is 10 and 11. And keeping my eye on, I mean, you saw SI going up, you see Bitcoin going up, you see Ethereum starting to go up as well. So I still have faith for Hut. I mean, we're long at 982. So really, it's okay for Hut. Palantir, again, back to 950. This one's going to be a nice win for us today as well, as we're back up near highs. I want to try to hold this one in case we do get a chance to look at 20. As the NASDAQ Arun, big day here. I just can't believe I can't believe it, but AMD debating buying back in. This should be a lot higher.
Yeah, strong move off on the futures here. Remember, we were looking to get long. What was it, like around, once it crossed like the highs, I was like, yeah, you know what, there's time to get some longs. I wanted to get it close to 50. I think we got as low as like 55 or something like that. And here we are, just absolutely going nuts. Oh, that's a 15-minute. Let me zoom that out. Let's go to the 5-minute chart just so you guys can see what I was talking about. It was here. When we crossed this area here, I was like, yeah, you know what, let me see if I can grab some longs down here. And we got as low as, what, 53 it looks like. And then it just completely takes off. Here we are close to 70. So absolute nuts on the futures here. S&P up 1.75, NASDAQ up 2.33. And it looks like all these big names are taking off to the upside, including Apple. Brendan.
More crypto names coming through here, guys. Canon, the latest CAN on the NASDAQ, now 11.5%. Big volume spike there through 650, guys, for CAN.
Yeah, I saw some people talking about that on the chat, and I apologize. I don't know too much about that name. There's always going to be a lot of names to choose, man, in the crypto space, and you guys know a couple of those from our show, Riot, and now obviously you're seeing me trade Hut here. No surprise this is starting to happen right here, as if you go down and drop a 1-minute chart, it looks like Ethereum starting to go again off this 43 bottom, testing 4,400 right now. So that CAN, a good name again to get involved with if that's, I mean, I'm into that Hut, and we've talked about that, so hopefully that will go for us. And then there's Siata Mobile, actually comes in and takes out that 6, so we got out, but then we got right back in. So let's see if we can make some money on SYTA back through 650 there. Hopefully that'll be a good one. And then CAN, you just brought to us. We'll check this one out. Are there any levels to look at here for CAN? Yeah, Canon ADS here. So we'll look at that one back to the upside. Wow, yeah, big mover down, and then cratering a couple of days ago, looking to take out this level. What is that, 670? Maybe 670, a spot of interest here for CAN on the name. Palantir, again, 965. This one's going to be a good winner. So the money bag's coming through on Palantir as it's taking off to the upside right now. Good trade on Palantir. Lucid giving some back, and then SoFi, man, just doing nothing here, barcoding, as we hope that SoFi can get above the 650 one more time.
I've got enough positions. I'm not going to add anymore. I've got GME long, FedEx long, Airbnb long, AAL long. I've got FedEx and Airbnb up, and I've got AAL, which, you know, we had a hard time with that 1850. That one's down. And then GME, I'm probably losing on the spread. And then INTC on the short side. As soon as we couldn't take INTC on the short side, or as soon as we couldn't stay above 54 after that move through, I kind of stepped down a little bit. I would have not liked to have taken 53.50, but at the same time, given the amount of space there was to the downside, I'm looking towards 51, right? So I can put up $2.50 in risk. I know I'm risking 2.5, which is just above 56. I know I can get the downside, so it kind of made sense to throw that out there. and take the shot instead of waiting for a 54 fill. Preferably, I would have liked the 54 fill, but the market didn't want to cooperate at the time, and I had to accept it. The risk made sense, the trade made sense. I just had to kind of step down and take the fill at that price. So here I am out 26 cents out of the money on INTC, but everything else, we've got FedEx and Airbnb, GME flashing in the money and out, AAL making its way back towards 1850. Another trade, damn, this could have been a nice one, but again, I mentioned to you guys, it had to be one of those like, I need to get confirmation of this level before I step in, which was Roku around that 215, 216 mark. Quick bounce here from 215, 20 something, 25, and here we are at 218 and change. 220 is right there. We can take the high easily if we really wanted to get going, because look at Roku. This is what it looks like. It's got a 50-cent spread. Oh, right now it's like a 30-cent spread. And if it wants to go to the upside, it can just absolutely take off. So here we are waiting for these positions to work out. And futures just, damn, man, I really want that fill on. I really did want that fill on futures south of 50 or even close to 50. I was okay with. Okay, so what do we do now? If it's going to keep on going, what can we do? We have 46.85 up top, which is about 15 points away. So shorts could still be on the table if we get a setup, but you have to respect the strength. So it has to kind of trade around for a decent amount of time with a decent amount of volume before I can go for the short. That's on the table, but that's not the direction I would focus on. The focus would be on the buy side. Strength is there. You're seeing these markets take off. You're seeing the tech names take off to the upside. So respect that. Futures going to the upside. So we have to respect that. If you miss a trade, you miss the trade. You just got to wait for the next one. At some point, you're going to get something that hits. So another name that came off. Well, I mean, this is going to require some work here. DocuSign. Docu.
Oh man, yeah, that was another one.
Yeah, so the way it's been working, oh damn, there's a tick here. Okay, let me pull up this chart instead because
Let's go HUD 8.
You
come over here while he's doing that if you guys.
I got it. It's so as soon as it got below 144, I was like, okay, there's some decent strength here. So there's some strength here. If you go back to the day where it got absolutely slaughtered here, through 142, 144 through 142 has got some decent support. And then you have the high from late morning, early afternoon session. It's around that 146 mark. It's kind of got some volume. So if we were to come back into that and actually rebound, I think there could be a long there. That's what I'm looking at. There's no trade just yet, but it definitely is an area where there could be a long that you can work with. So set some levels, keep an eye on it. If there's a trade, there will be, it'll set up and you can get that shot. But for now, though, just keep an eye on it. There's nothing else you can really do.
All right, yeah, good talk there. Meanwhile, we will spin the money here for HUD 8. Finally, guys, we were looking at crypto. Obviously, we've been sitting here in this trade and not loving life, but there it goes right back to the upside. We're offering some 10s now to get out. There it is, nice out. Yes, sir, yes. Finally, as we'll hit the Bitcoin going crazy right now as we're in a little bit of a bump up here for coins. 51.5 now for Bitcoin, and there goes HUD 8, man. This is a great trade for me. My number one stock, probably, well, Palantir's up there too. Seattle Mobile, man, believe in it. We talked about that one. We'll go, oh my God.
Oh my God.
If we can get Miss V soon, we got to talk about these likes. Look at this, 640, 645, 650, still ripping. Let's go, Seattle Mobile going 650. Who's got 660? Who's got 670? Who's got 680 on Seattle Mobile? Who's got $7 on Seattle Mobile? So hopefully that goes back up to the upside, man. We're long on this one and loving this trade. Out a couple times right here as we go. SoFi, not so nice, but Palantir is a nice, up to 1980. I like. Valeria, what's up?
Hey guys, Sean is back in the building, so does Energy is. Markets are positive. What a wonderful day. Please support the show and smash the like button. We have 6,500 people watching and 1,100 likes. Please, let's push it to 2,000 until the end of this day. Back to you, Sean.
Aha, I'm sure there's lots of energy yesterday. Different kind today, maybe, and I'm glad to bring it as we like a lot as Palantir now, yes, sir, rain down that cash, Arun, as Palantir's coming back up to the upside, so that's going to be a name that it looks like we hit right there, and we also got out of some of that HUD at 10, so that's working. That Seattle Mobile starting to go. We'll put an offer in the 70s. We're going to go to Brendan in a minute. Other than that, man, Lucid just fading around. Some good outs there on Lucid. We'll look to get back in. Where's my bid on Lucid? 44.40. So tips down to 60. We'll probably get that as the market going higher and some of these names going lower. So we'll look at all of that. And yeah, HUT. So HUT 8, a big one for me. We'll wait to see what that's going to do. But here goes Lucid, and then we're still waiting for SoFi, barcoding near the bottom. All right, fun day so far. Let's check it out, what it looks like on the big board over there with Brendan.
Yeah, lots of fun so far. Lots of opportunities so far. Nicely positive, top to bottom on the board once again this morning. 1.8 for the S&P. The Dow, remember, was leading yesterday. Reversal today. Small caps having a nice day here. Russell 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, all sharply higher. But there it is. The NASDAQ leading the way. 2.6, 2.4 for the composite and the 100. NASDAQ today, really positive day. Even here in Toronto, the TSX 1.4%. To the upside, energy stocks leading as well. A couple of things we were discussing in the pre-market this morning. Intel, one of those, nothing to see here. Kind of broke that pre-market support, gave you about $1.50 to the downside. That's about it for INTC. Rivian as well, same kind of play. 119 was support a couple of times, 119.5 even in the pre-market. That comes all the way back into where we ended yesterday, guys, for Rivian. Back over to you.
I like the kind words there. Sean should not be allowed to take another day off, but tell that to the boss man, making us take all these days off. And I want to give a big thank you so much to Arun for coming through and really just making me and Neil look silly there. So thank you so much, Arun, for that. The best partner here. Well, I have two of the best partners. You and Neil, I can't complain, and thank you again, guys, for supporting the show as we continue to try to keep it as real as we can, man. We are day traders, trading real equity, real futures contracts, putting real money on the line here, guys, and let's just keep going with that kind of talk, but not derogatory talk there. Let's just go, guys. Thank you so much for the likes. Okay, HUT 8 starting to go again. That's a good trade for us. I've been trying to trade a little bit of Ethereum today, and it's just we had a nice bottom early that we obviously got out of right there, and then we just took another trade right now trying to go higher, but we're out of it. It doesn't look like it wants to go. That's ETHE, but our HUT is moving nicely. We did not get into that Lucid. It comes very, very close. I'm wondering if this is a nice little bottom spot here for Lucid, but I'm going to wait for 40 still, and then we'll go, man. What is the reason for a class action? I thought someone was going to say class act lawsuit there. But again, thank you for joining us. And this is what I want to do. Look, even on my day off, so we went to Sherway yesterday. Someone rightly guessed that. And even on my day off, guys, look what we put up here. And it's going to have a voice in here, but you probably can't. You're not going to be able to hear it, obviously, on the show. But here we go. This is me walking. That's a Tesla store, right beside a Canada Goose store, right beside a Peloton store. There's Tesla. So I'm walking by, and my wife is like, hey, what's going on here? Why are you videotaping? I'm like, don't worry, it's something for the show. And there it is. So Tesla, Arun, if you could put some money to work right now, Tesla, Canada Goose, or Peloton. I know that's not the most attractive names there, but we've got winter.
Yep.
We're from Canada.
Yep.
Tesla's been sort of, the EV space is kind of what it is. And then we all know, especially shout out to my main man, Pratt over there. I heard people were picking on him yesterday. So Banhammer's in the building if I see that again. But Peloton has been getting hit. And I know that Pratt calls it a bike slapped with an iPad on it.
He's right, though.
So you're saying Peloton maybe number 3 in that?
Peloton's number 3.
I
would say Canada Goose at number 2. Canada Goose makes sense at number 2, and I think Tesla's got to be at the top there.
Agreed.
Okay, but to be fair, Sean, the reason why he was getting some flack yesterday is because you're Italian. You would have an opinion on this. We had risotto yesterday.
Right.
It was chicken and shrimp risotto. What are your thoughts on chicken and shrimp together?
Not in a risotto. No, I mean, I think you got to shrimp risotto nicely. I think you got to throw some mushrooms in there is what it should have been in the first place.
Right.
But what do I think about chicken and shrimp? Seems like a tough one for me. I'm not super in the favor of that.
He was complaining as he was eating, and then he was arguing. He was saying how he was going to go to Super Chicken.
Yeah.
He refused to go to Super Chicken and just complained as he ate the risotto. And so he was complaining about free food is where he was getting the flack from.
Right. Okay. So that's fine. I mean, this food is not. This is where I go back and forth. Is it really free, or do we really deserve it? And do we deserve even better? I mean, we got to look at that. We're the hardest working threesome. Hold on a second. The three of us are the hardest working combo.
Trio.
In the trio.
Trio. That's the word you use. Don't use the other one.
Jesus, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Who are we going to now? Brandon, what up?
DBI, Designer Brands earnings report. I'm just going to pretend nothing happened. DBI up 15% here. 15.5 just taken out there, guys, on volume for Designer Brands.
All right. Yeah, I see the chat's getting going there, so that's good. Yeah, thank you guys for that, and thank you for supporting us as we continue to go. We did not get that Lucid bid, and it looks like it's trying to test this 50 here. Looks like it's going to be cracking more. 46, 45 to the downside here. Here comes Lucid. We are sitting at 40, so I'm going to get, hopefully, oh, don't tell me it goes to 43. Hopefully we'll get run over here a little bit, get that fill. I may just put the fill out right now because honestly, this is going to be a heart attack if I don't get one naturally from missing that bottom by 4 cents. So let's put a bid out right now, take this long and cancel our 40s and then just take a long right here.
All right, look, back to our positions. We're getting some movement finally. GME, hey, how do you feel about $2 in the money on GME? I like that. So GME finally taking off to the upside. We're along 175. It's north of 177 now. Okay, that's a good move. Airbnb still holding well in front of these 183s. We're along 182.56. So that's a nice little $1.50 in the money. I picked up some DKNG and, well, FedEx I had from before. I also picked up some DKNGs in front of those 53s there, or in front of those 50s at 53. This might take some time, though. The way it's been moving around, I think it's going to definitely take some time. It's above any resistance that I can see, so it makes sense to be long. You go back to the 2nd of December here. It's around 50. We got above 50, trading well. I think it's worth a shot north of 32.50. So, and the risk on this is going to be south of 31.50. So it's about $1 or so. And we might have to wait on this one to actually get going as GME takes off to the upside. There's your $3 winner on GME as we get north of 178 now running. You see my offer in front of 180. I am trying to get some out in front of 180. Futures, what are you doing? You're at 46.75. We're still about 10 points away from the next level, but the strength is there. You can't deny the strength is there, and you don't go short. If they're strong, you try to get on the long side. If you can't, if you miss, like in my case, I couldn't get it, you just wait for it. That's all you can do. You just wait for it. What happened there? Chicken got exploded there?
No, I hit the chicken for you because the chicken has the diamond hands. So the GameStop and some of those other things like a DraftKings, like what the rest of the apes are on, definitely a good one there. And if you look at AMC again, we've been avoiding this one today, but this has been a money bag one for a lot of people that have been averaged in to AMC. You get a little relief rally here today, up that 7 points on AMC. And right here, man, trying to take out these levels one more time, 31.50. We've come up here once, twice, 3 times. So that was what day was this here? This was the 1st. Then you get the 2nd, 3rd, and then now today you're about busting out again. Wow, that thing touched 25, eh? Wow. Some big time sales happening while I was gone here. Glad to be back, guys. But wow, this market does not care who's on vacation or not as you continue to make some moves upside. Just looking at the chart here for AMC, what do we want to do? I don't know. Higher volume? Not really. It's only 8 million shares coming back in, 30 bucks. This is a level that I'm much more concerned with down here, 30 and change. It looks like it's going to take out 31 though right now. Oh man, good movement. Yeah, HUD 8 again above 10 bucks. Happy with that one. Give it to them, Brendan.
Big move back up for Rumble, CFVI, guys, right through the entire range. We're getting back above 13.5, which was a key level from yesterday a couple of times for CFVI, guys.
Oh, hells. Yeah, I just told Arun, let me take this one because there goes Lucid, man. I told you. You know how upset, like honestly, I missed the trade by 4 cents, 3 cents, and I just punched long, man. I just marketed in on that Lucid trade, and I got 45s. So good trade there on Lucid, 44, 45, the average in, and then we just take some out there at the 80s, 87 mark there. So now we'll go higher. We have another offer to go there right now. Everything we have right now is in the money. Psych, we still have SoFi that's not doing anything. So SoFi right now, it's not bothering me because it's just kind of sitting here. But honestly, man, I mean, this has got to, at some point, let's see what it does, man. We're long at 53. We're out 18 cents right now on this name. I can't believe what this is doing. I may just take a little bit out now. If we can get to like 40, just take a piece out just to keep some of this money in our pocket. But right now we picked this. SoFi, I really thought that it had a chance to go today. And this is why. Look at the 20-minute chart. It got beat down lately. Look at this. Just straight down off of what I thought was good earnings right here. Obviously, we're wrong. And then I thought, taking out this 19 would have been something. But to get there, we got to go 16 first. And right there, 16.60. I love this spot. It didn't happen for us. We punch our ticket long, and that's honestly where we're stuck. And Arun, it's the exact same thing happening over and over to me again. every trade that we've lost today, it's because we've taken some of these high breaks, and it hasn't come to fruition for us. These high breaks just haven't worked for us today. HUT was good because it came back and we were able to average in, but AMD started us down a downward spiral on that name, and there goes HUT again. Upside, we just took out another 10. We just got filled on that one, and we just got filled on something else, and that was Lucid right now for 50-cent winner. As look at this name, battling right back, man. There's our average, 45 out, out, out. Now we've got a decent size here, 45.15 or so, our next target here for LCID, as that name's starting to work for us.
All right. I just got one thing to say. I'm going to put this chart up right here. That's the GME chart. And then I'm going to press this button because, well, that doesn't work. It doesn't work. Can you hit my, hey, Rob, can you hit my animation? My animation. You don't have it.
I don't have pew. He wants the pew.
I want my pew.
Give the man his damn pew.
Give me my pew.
Holy shoot, man, Arun.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, we'll wait
Energy.
on Rob.
I like this. I like this.
Anyways, I just picked up some more trades. Well, Rob, tell me before you're hitting it, by the way. So I picked up some NVIDIAs just north of 312.50. So that's $1 in the money. We've got Airbnb $1.90 in the money. Yeah, do it now. And GME. I don't see it. There you go. GME, guys. $6 in the money, and I still got the rest of it. I've still got half of it left.
Hit this thing.
We got out some in front of 180, and now here we are at 181.55. So nice little winner. We've got winners across the board here. GME $6, FedEx 36 cents, Airbnb $1.85, NVIDIA 70 cents. I'm out 8 cents on 8 cents on AAL, out 18 cents on INTC, and out 15 cents on DKNG. So I think ratio-wise, I'm doing all right for the morning. Strong move as the futures take off towards 80. Man, give me a chance. I want to trade this too, but I can't get my hands on this. So we're going to have to wait on this one. Maybe at some point during the day, we will get along on the futures. That would have been a great, that was like a
And Arun, we're bringing out the best in you, boy. Arun getting excited now. I like that. I like that a lot. So here we go, man. Another out for us on Lucid. A nice trade there. Thanks, Arun, for that one. Yeah, GME to the moon. You ain't wrong on that one, Long Doan there. Thank you so much, Long, for the $10. And I guess we all know what position you like. Long, and long on GME continues to be the one there. Snipe, let's go. CFVI, hell yeah. We'll look at that one, man. We bought some NVIDIA yesterday, guys. Tweeted it out. 291 NVIDIA, man. You're not going to hold these stocks down. And you're not going to hold us down either here on Trader TV Live. So thank you one more time for joining us. It's been a big one, man. HUT 8 definitely turning itself around for me here as that's going to the upside. You've got that DraftKings. We talked to people, our viewers, what's up, viewers, about buying this name, man. And we're really super happy with DraftKings. If someone was able to buy this name, sub 30, man, Jim Chanos can... No comment on that, but he definitely beat the stock down here, down to 27.28. Like, honestly, I feel no love for these guys that come out here, these billionaires, beat down stock and then get long. Like, you're going to see on that report that he's probably long like a shit ton of shares down here, and it's not right, the power that they have, but whatever, continues to make money moves, that guy. So Jim Chanos. Palantir, also not happy with Palantir, but if we've got 99 problems, guess what one ain't one today? Well, Palantir ain't one today, as we now have 60 cents in the money, dropping down to us 19.90. I may just take this out upside. If we can get some 1990 love, we'll do that here on Palantir, take that out, and then just see what happens moving forward. So Palantir today, we're going to put an offer right here, 1990. If we could take it, let's do that. As things are starting to move, man, I'm like, my net is turning here, and I don't really know what's happening. Oh, yeah, Lucid, pop off right now, Captain Lucid, as right there. What a good dip buy that turns out to be. We'll offer some 40s here, see if we can get some out here on Lucid, but a good, there we go. Did we just get that? Yes, we did. A nice out there on Lucid as it's starting to pop through. So good out there for us, LCID. Look at that bottom pick right there. Let it come in. Let the name come in, and then we're out. So right now we have about 40% left on this as we take some out at VWAP there. We're definitely not going to stare that gift horse in the face, Arun, and that was a good trade for us. So there it is, man. HUT 8 and Lucid making us some money. But let's take out another piece of HUT 8. We took a decent position here, which is why we can take all these out. So another offer on HUT 8. We'll take some O2s if we can get it.
Yeah, the longs working out makes sense with the futures running the way they do, but it's the Intel short that it's quite impressive, I think. Because think about it, with a market like this, and this is actually part of an index, part of the index as well. and it's refusing to go up through these 54s. Remember, this is the whole reason we went for the short. It was this 54 level breaking and holding that we went for the short. The fact that it's up 37 cents as the market rips to new highs is quite impressive. So relative weakness in Intel, definitely something to keep an eye on, guys. If it can't go up when the market's going up and it's part of the index that should be dragging it up, we got a problem in INTC. So definitely shorts are the right way to go on Intel. I'm looking at 51 and change as a target. NVIDIA coming off a little bit here. Why? It was up like $2 or something. Now it's coming off a little bit. That's fine. NVIDIA's okay. Everything else, GME coming off. Again, this was kind of expected. I've got a trail stop in there. There's resistance back towards 180. When we went long, this was kind of the area we were hitting for the first target. I was expecting this, but I didn't want to dump all of it. I just wanted to see how far we can go. I dumped a decent portion, and then we're going to hold the rest of it, trail this out, maybe make a buck or so on the rest of it. We've still got the Airbnb position, which is kind of taking its sweet time. It does not want to rotate just yet. But this might, given the volume on here, and let's actually take a look at the Airbnb volume. Airbnb has done 1.7 million shares. That's not a whole lot of movement for 1.7 million shares, but we were getting some decent support. Maybe this is something that takes a little bit more time to rotate through. That's fine. Airbnb setting up well, so we don't have to worry about that one. We've got Airbnb up 232. We've got GME up 287. INTC is moving, so that's 35 cents. NVIDIA kind of moving back up. That's fine. There's no targets in place. AAL, the one position that's actually still negative. Yeah, I'm priced at 1850. We were looking for support from 1850 going all the way down through 1780, 1770. So the fact that it's bouncing in between, that's fine. We're priced at the top end, not preferable, but at the same time, there's nothing I can do with this trade apart from letting it either hit the stop or hit the high, at which point I can actually move the stop. So for now, we're just going to leave it alone and kind of let it figure out what it wants to do. We just got to keep an eye on this GME position. Actually, let me look at FedEx too, because FedEx hasn't really done a whole lot since I got in. Yeah, FedEx is fine. This is going to take some time as well. We're sitting north of this 246, 247 area. That support, I'm here around 248. So the fact that it's kind of doing nothing up here is fine with me. As long as it doesn't sharply move down like, say, GME did after hitting that 180, FedEx is in decent condition. I just got to keep an eye on. I think the only trouble that I'm going to have is with GME, given the way it's been moving. Obviously, the trail stop has to be there, but the fact that it's actually moving this aggressive, I wasn't expecting to be this aggressive, but I was expecting some resistance as the futures kind of slowed down right in front of that 46.85 area. Remember, we have 46.85 marked off. That's the level to keep an eye on. We can still rotate. There could still be a short on the board. It's just a matter of, are we going to get it? There's a decent amount of strength, so you can't jump on board for that short just yet. I think if it gets below 70, 46.70, there might be a short on deck. But for now, we've got enough positions. We're just waiting. That's all we can really do. You position up at certain times, you get the setups, and then you just wait for them to work out.
All right, what's up, Ms. V?
Hey guys, we received multiple super chats from Mark the Realtor 305. Peloton possible breakout today with boxing event. Can we take a look at Peloton, guys?
Sure, we like some Peloton there. I thought I had an offer at SoFi at 40 and I didn't, so we'll re-put that there. Look, I like Peloton here at some of these levels. I mean, you're down, these are what, the lows right now again here for Peloton? Obviously not on the day, but on a 20-minute chart, you know, we're battling off here. I guess we got to 41 the last couple of days. It's trying to get going here. I don't know, you know, to buy some Peloton down here at 42 might be something. I do understand that there is the Christmas time coming and the consumer is so strong in the US that I believe they'll buy up some Peloton here into Christmas, but that sort of should have already happened. I think if there's some beat down names, let's go to names that are trying to pump through better earnings. Peloton seems to miss. They missed that build by $1 billion on their forecast moving forward and on sales. And I don't know. I'm not super excited about Peloton at some of these levels. And if you look at a daily chart here, we are going to go to Brendan in a second, but here's a daily on Peloton. You're still, I feel like you haven't really barcoded enough down here. We'll look at PayPal, and you can see there's a lot more, you know, a few more green candles down here, and I feel like Peloton still has room to crack. Like, I'd rather it test 40 on the breaking side and then see what happens down here like 32, 33. I know that's a far, far way away. And if you're stuck on Peloton, then that is what that is. But a nice dip down, and let's wait to see. But if you're long here at 43, you know, it takes 7, 8, 9% worth of risk and punch out if it breaks 40. So I think there is some decent risk and reward on this name. I wouldn't expect it to get back to 79 or 80 anytime soon, but hey, you're a few upgrades away from it being back to 50. So I think the risk reward is here for Peloton. But whenever in doubt, let's go over to small cap recap with Brendan, a name we haven't looked at here today. So it'll be interesting to see what he has to say.
Hey guys, yeah, busy morning. Lots of opportunities in small cap world today. We'll go to a couple that were moving around yesterday, if you remember. This was one of them, ISIG. This is what happened yesterday. We got all the way up there to 16. So I was looking at 12, which was this support, and then 13 and 14 on the way up this morning. This was just basically a test fill, but that 12 offer was the only one I got filled. Makes a move all the way back down to 10. Not really doing much now, just kind of chopping around within its range. So decent volume for ISIG. CPIX, the other one that was a crazy mover yesterday to the upside, coming back down to earth a little bit today. We're back to lows essentially right now, but 620 and then 675 were some key areas from yesterday, just kind of fading off nicely for CPIX. And then the Seattle Mobile we talked about right before the open. I tried it short, I said 2.5 million share float. You got to have a really, really tight stop here. So 480 was this high. Flip to the long, that gives you $2.50 to the upside. So 25 cents on the short as far as the stop is concerned, and then $2.50 to the upside for SYTA. Guys.
All right, I was looking at the chat and someone was asking, why do I have this 46.85 marked on the futures? Okay, so let me just explain why. We spent a decent amount of time around 46.50, but at the same time, we gapped below this 46.50 going back to the 24th, the 25th. We kind of, not gap below, but we kind of traded sharply below, and then every time we got back above 46.50, we kind of hesitated. Makes sense, previous support acting as resistance. So you could argue that 46.70 would have been the level, but you go back to looking at the 23rd and the 24th of November, you see the amount of volume that's being actually done between 70 and 80. You don't want to use a level like 70 because you could still actually get just wicked out and then the market keeps on going to the downside. So why? I chose 46.85 because that would get us above any previous support that I saw going back to the 24th or the 25th. So the fact that it's actually all the way up here is based entirely on the fact that we hesitated this much going back to the 26th, the 29th, and then you attach levels from the 23rd and the 24th. So you have previous support, you have established resistance, you mix them together, you figure out what the clearest level or the area would be, and it's around 70 to 80 is where the majority of volume is going to be. So north of 80 for me is 85, so that's why I have 46.85 marked off. Market is respecting that. So as long as this market stays above 46.70, the market is the trade is still along. It's just a matter of that expecting resistance, having ideas in mind that if we get to certain prices, we're going to get some resistance or get some selling coming in, and that's what you're seeing around this 80. I would have preferred to see it around 46.70-ish, not as high as we've gone, but the fact that we are as strong as we are allows for this kind of flexibility. So as long as we stay above 46.70, this trade is still along. Now, if we were to break 46.70 and actually start working some more sells, I'd definitely be on board of shorting this and using that 46.85 as a stop, just because I'm already expecting resistance here, and the fact that you're giving me more than enough action and volume to the sell side allows me to play on the short side with that previous level that I had marked off. So something I had read from late November is now coming into play after a strong rally, after the markets are almost 2% on the S&P. It takes some time, yes, but the levels are still there, the volume is still there, so if the market can respect it, then I'm going to be on board with taking that shot to the short side. Now, a couple targets that I've got to move around. NVIDIA, it was just north of 315. What happened? I had to put down 317 and change as my first target, just because I think we can get there. This trade should still be good. I feel like I can move the trail stop, actually. I think I can move it to 311. We should not come back south of 312, given the way it's moving. So I'm going to move the trail stop on NVIDIA just south of 311. just so I can actually not protect, but at least limit the losses on this in the event that it were to turn. My first target preferably would be 317 and change. GME coming back in, trail stop is south of 176. I think we flashed there, but didn't get any trading done. So that's still, we're waiting on that one. Airbnb is absolutely doing nothing after getting to 185. So we're waiting on that one. FedEx is coming off. What are you doing, FedEx?
Yeah, the market is still high.
Well, I mean, it's high, but it's lost its juice or its mojo. It makes sense. I mean, we're about an hour after the open. FedEx is fine. I'm okay with FedEx the way it's moving around. I would prefer it to take out 249, but I mean, if it doesn't want to do it, it doesn't want to do it. And the other one, DKNG. Okay, what are you doing, DKNG? That long that I picked up at 32.50. Oh, did I really pick up the top? I'm okay with that long. I mean, it's above all of this. This is the 5-minute chart, by the way. A lot of the times what I'm going to give you guys is 5 minutes zoomed out so you can't really see the candles, but you can see the structure. And sometimes I'll do the same and I'll give you guys the 15-minute charts. Why am I okay with 32.50? Because we're right here. We cleared the zone here. We cleared the second, the high of the second, opening high of the third, and we kind of ran strong after trading well through 32. So for me, 32.50 makes sense. I'll put up $1 in risk, so below 31.50 is a risk. I mean, if it doesn't go, it doesn't go. But that's one trade that a lot of times I'll go back and I'll double check trades to make sure that they're acting the way I would expect them to act around certain prices. DKNG is fine. Airbnb is annoying, but it's fine. GME is just straight up annoying because that was just a quick rejection.
You got to hit this, that's why.
Yeah, it's just a straight up rejection. The diamond hands.
You got to hit the diamond hands monkey there.
Yeah, but me taking.
Or is that an ape? I think it's a.
It's an. Oh.
I don't know what it is.
I mean, aren't they the same though?
It's supposed to be an ape.
Anyways, GME coming off a little bit. It's annoying because I would have preferred us to grind through those 180s, but if we are going to come back off, I'll just dump it. So the only real position I think is going to be a problem, apart from everything I've seen, FedEx is out of the money, fine. DKNG out of the money, that's fine as well. The other three are in the money, or four are in the money. AAL is going to be the only problem, and I knew as soon as it flipped off the open and flashed above 50 and then flew back down, I may have a hard time getting this thing out just north of 50. That may be a problem. I actually might be in trouble on AAL longs. For now, though, all you can do is really wait. Brendan?
What is this? AeroVironment, AVAV, guys, would appear at 10, what time is it? 10:30? This is actually 10:15. They just reported earnings at 10:15 in the morning. So huge move down here for AVAV, 30% to the downside.
Damn, I'm going to guess not great earnings on that one, but we will go into that in a minute. I just want to celebrate a few more victories here as we're going. Look at Lucid, man. I mean, bang, again, another one. We waited at 55 here, went as high as 51, so we'll see if Lucid, again, went all the way to the downside. We took some more out there, so just an update on that one. And then, look, I'm surprised HUT's going up here as crypto is starting to fall a little bit, so we got some more out around 10 bucks. This pretty much is my number one stock today, so we'll go bang with HUT. And I did want to give a big thank you to everybody. So sweet. Looks like maybe I was missed. There are 168. That's obviously a 5. 100. Please, someone hit it if you haven't hit it yet to break that up to 10. 158 likes. 18 retweets. Thank you so much for all the love on the sticky note there today as we put that back in the chat. I guess that was a good one that they liked there. So, this is what we did. Seattle Mobile. Okay, Seattle Mobile. We'll go Dada.
Dada.
What's up, Brando? And there we go. A break finally for Seattle Mobile. This chart is looking ugly, and we are not going to be, we'll see. Position pending. Not positive on Seattle Mobile so far. It does break below 6 twice, man. We got out both times. This time we actually waited and got out 85. They waited for an 90 break. Got it. And then obviously it ripped back up. We took out to 640. Got some out at 660. That's 20 cents. So right there, like, look at this. This is a 611, 610 break, out 585. So that's like 25 pennies. We just took about 18 or 19 pennies on that initial break, and then it ripped up in the money for us, which is what I'm saying. Position pending on this one. And you know what, SoFi, honestly, do I have a Gates of Hell thing here? Let's go hold my beer. Shout out to Lucas, who I believe Was he here today? Did I see him? I don't even know what's going on. I think maybe I had the day off right there today. But we'll slap a big fail on you, SoFi, today because really was thinking here that it would break out of this level. So we did take a 40 out there. It's going to be a positive name for us because of this. Boom, 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 boom. But then we like that 1660, and I still like it. So I'm going to hold out. There it goes. That's starting to go now. The reason why we like that 1660 is right here. I thought this break would get us to 17, 18 and change today. SoFi should go. I'm really positive on this name, so let's see if it wants to make a move upside here as the net starting to go. Why is that? Because HUT 8 starting to go even higher right now. HUT on the move. We like this name. We've averaged into it. Good trade there on our own account. Only took one position so far today. And look at this. Spin it. Who loves Ford? Money, 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 money. I also like it because Robbie, I get to see Robbie shake that in front of me as well. Good move there on Robbie. Robbie liking some Ford as well, all the way up to 20 bucks there. Ford goes brrr as the cash registers continue to print here on Ford. Let's go Seattle Mobile, back up to 65 again. You can do it, Brendan.
Little one just popping up as well. CBAT, which is that CBAK. Energy at day highs here on decent volume, guys. 205 just taking out their 20%. Huge volume coming into CBAT. I saw Vinco Ventures fly by again. BBIG moving around like crazy as well. 10:32 now, Miss V. Let's get a check on how things are shaping up over in Europe. 1 hour to go. What's up?
Hey Brandon, European markets are also positive today. AstraZeneca, primarily listed in London, is down more than 2% after Jefferies downgraded the stock to hold from buy. Back to you.
Yeah, lots of strength right across the board today, guys. 2.7. I was just noticing for the Russell right now having a huge day.
As the market slows down a little bit, I'm going to be taking profits, so I'm starting to dump some. I just got out of GME, so we're fully out of GME after making about $5 on the first half and not too much on the remaining position given the spread. So we are out of GME completely. That's done. Airbnb, I've started to shed some as well in front of these 185s. I don't know what's going on around this 185, but I don't want to be in a full position as we get or start to work through there. So that's about a $2 and what is it? $2.40 or so on Airbnb on the first half of the position. NVIDIA as well, I've dumped some. Remember, we're long north of 312. I dumped some just in front of 314.50. So that's another 250 on NVIDIA. We've still got some. So we're still riding the rest of this position out. It's just now I'm out of GME. We're shedding risk on Airbnb and NVIDIA. The two big winners I've got. FedEx is still working. DKNG still working. AAL still working. And INTC is nowhere near a target for me. So we're just going to ride out INTC. Well, that was the INTC chart. Okay, there we go. INTC, well, I'm down here. That we actually didn't flash down there, but we're trading at 52.90 right now, about 55 cents in the money. Still waiting. I'm looking for 51.50 on the short.
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, go ahead. We talked about Intel coming off today.
We talked about Intel potentially a short below 54. It was a matter of whether we can actually stay below 54, if it was just going to be a flash. It looked like, for a second there, it looked like it was going to be a flash, but it turned out to be legit selling through 54. So here we are on the short side trying to play with that as well. Futures kind of going slow now. We're kind of taking our time as we get closer to this 85. We're going sideways. I mean, I would preferably, just so I can actually trade the futures, I would prefer like a pullback. A nice little pullback would be nice into the 60s so I can actually look for some longs. But for now, it does look like the market just wants to go sideways instead of coming off a little bit. As I talked of, damn, NVIDIA taking off to the upside here after I got out some. Here we are at highs, 315.72 on the offer. That's about $3.30 in the money, taking off to the upside. As I talk, though, the other two, damn, FedEx and DKNG doing nothing. So that's not helping my case. But for now, managing what I've got, I really can't do a whole lot else. Unless you guys see some trades that are setting up, go ahead, put them in the chat. I'll take a look, see if I can actually grab some more. Because I would mind, now that I'm out of GME, I wouldn't mind adding another stock to replace that trade. But we'll see. I mean, the movers that need to be moving are going. The other ones are just taking their sweet time. So if I'm stuck in them, I'm stuck in them, and we're just going to wait for them. And the one that really bothers me, AAL, damn it, AAL, the timing of that, me getting long and then it flashing like 20, 30 cents off that CEO news, I believe. So the fact that I can't even get back to that price kind of bothers me a little bit. But hey, that's a different story. But we are in the money. We're doing well, so we're just going to wait it out and see how this all plays out.
Yeah, I mean, we're in the money here as well, and we're smoking to the upside here today as, yeah, we are... Okay, I'm reloading. Yeah, we bought some NVIDIA yesterday, man, at 291, Arun, in the long-term account. I'm never, ever backing away from metaverse names. So if you don't like that, then you may not like my portfolio. I want to be buying more Facebook. I want to be buying more NVIDIA. I want to be buying more AMD. And anytime this market gives me an opportunity to buy what I believe is the best name out there, I'm going to step in there and do that. And we did that yesterday, man. And again, like, look at this dip. What kind of a gift? I mean, down to here, man, 297. We were just here, so it could happen again. And it's not to say that we've seen the bottom for NVIDIA. Maybe we haven't. But I'm going to keep on buying. As long as the narrative is here in the macro scheme of things, I don't think much has changed in this market, man. I mean, sure, we have Omicron. We have all this stuff. Great, great, great. But you know what? Science is going to prevail, and we're just going to move on from this. And I think COVID is going to be part of life. To me, the big switch was obviously in the Fed and them going a bit hawkish last week or 2 weeks ago. Time flies right now. I can't even believe it's almost like mid-December. I've done zero Christmas shopping. Hallelujah for my lovely wife who's saving the day on gifts. But you can see to the upside a nice move here for NVIDIA. And I bought yesterday at 291. And it went down to like 289. And I was even debating getting more. So, I mean, that's how much I like that. You may or may not like this, and this is going to be from today's lunch. So, welcome, guys. There's only a little bit of time left. We just got the email. So, you've been having my salad, I assume.
Yeah.
So, today, denied. But you're going to get today 3 cheese tortellini with grilled chicken and roast vegetables. There's some potential there.
Yeah, there's
some potential there. We'll see how that turns out with a tomato basil sauce. I'd actually see when you're talking about cheese tortellini with grilled vegetables, roasted vegetables and grilled chicken. You know, it's possible that they could have put a little bit of a white sauce on that as well. But you'll like the tomato basil. So shout out to anybody that's hungry right now. It's only 10:40 here in lovely Toronto, Ontario, Canada, the home of the future Stanley Cup winning 2022 Stanley Cup winning Toronto Maple Leafs. So if you don't like that, where's the band hammer? I got to get that ready. Just playing around. Arun is short cheese? No, Arun's not short cheese. He doesn't mind cheese, but maybe it's not his favorite.
Depends on the type of cheese, though.
It does. This is going to be just, 3 cheese tortellini.
So it's a mystery cheese. There's going to be cheddar in there for sure.
Well, you should have some provolone, and we'll see what's going to be inside of this. I don't think it'll be like a soft cheese like a Gouda or anything like that. Maybe not even a mozzarella, but hopefully there'll be some Parmesan in there for you as well. So let's go. Palantir right now. Nice move back to the high side. We are trying to get out. I thought I was offering this. Where's my offer right there? It's at 1984. They're a good year, so we'll wait to see if that can come through. 1984, no idea why. The high of the day is 87, so we wait a little bit ahead of that one as we go. And then SoFi finally started to go, man, so we took a little bit out there at 50, and then it stopped. So 53, the new high on SoFi, debating taking another piece out.
Yeah, I'm looking over at my screen. I'm like, really, though? NVIDIA, really? You got to do this after I got out some? You couldn't do this earlier. Here
Someone's talking about, I have to interrupt here.
Yeah, what's up?
Because people are saying they doubt Toronto has good food. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Mr. Pete Riley, you've never been to Toronto then, because honestly, we have like all the major restaurants. If you're like one of those hoity-toity type, you can go out and drop those dimes on a lot of different kind of food. Mm-hmm. But we are also, I believe, and you could Google this, somebody Google this, I think we're the most multicultural major city in, get this, the world. I'm calling it. So someone can Google that. I'm calling that. And you know what happens with multiculturalism? Obviously, you get an amazing assortment of food because it's kept real. Anyways, I'll digress. Sorry about that. But I mean, Toronto to my heart will take that every day there. So let's go.
I agree, 100%. Because it's one of the most diverse cities, you're going to get one of the most diverse cuisines around. So anywhere you go in the city, you're going to get a ton of different options. And that's not a problem ever. Here in Toronto, not a problem. even though we're not even super close to the coastline, you're still.
I mean, I'll bet you. I mean,
pretty
there's
good
no way
fresh.
Vancouver's more cultural. I mean, honestly, I'm simply just talking about.
I've
like,
been to
people are-
Vancouver. It's there, but you're not going to get the same kind of volume that you get in Toronto. It doesn't
I mean,
have
it's
the
just
same.
we
kind.
have like literally like we have like little Ethiopia here. Honestly,
Right across the street.
Right across, like we have
I
all.
need to try it.
Right. So there you go. So anyways, I'm not going to get, like New York by population, probably true, but just the sheer number of different cultures
Yeah.
is what I'm getting at. And look, I've been to NYC. I mean, I'm not here to say Toronto has the best food, like period, the best restaurants or anything like that. It's just for diversification, man. Toronto is there, and I believe if you're visiting us for the first time, or the second time, or the third time, you will definitely like the food, as we just picked up Lucid on the down low.
I think people they discount it because it's in Canada, and Canada is like too cold or something. But we get the same weather that
Too
New York.
cold.
Like Toronto gets the same weather that New York does.
We get better weather. Did you see Buffalo last night?
True. New York
Western
gets,
New York is.
Yeah. New York gets because they're so much closer to the water. We have a lake, yes, but I mean it's limited. But New York our weather is sometimes
Our
better
weather's
than New
better
York.
than Philly. It's better than many East. I mean, you
Chicago
just look this up.
for
This is not
sure.
my opinion.
Chicago for sure.
Yeah, Wisconsin. I mean, hey, what's up, Green Bay Packer fans? Better than Minnesota, so on and so forth. I mean, even Detroit's pretty nasty. But those of you that know Toronto know what's good. So let's get back to trading here. Hey, what's up, Lucas? I was like, hey, is Lucas even here today? But I've seen him already, and there he is again. So what's up to Lucas and everybody else? Let's keep going.
Yeah, as we're talking, futures are approaching their highs back towards that 85. Damn, I guess we're not going to get a little rest to kind of get these longs on board. We're going to miss out on the futures, fine. Okay, what do we got? Airbnb, we dumped some. NVIDIA, now 476 in the money. FedEx is coming back, actually, finally. FedEx coming back a little bit after bouncing off that 247. We're long north of 248. Finally, we're getting a rotation in FedEx, finally. So that's working out. Not as planned, but it is doing what it needs to do to kind of set up that long. DKNG is kind of, what is it doing? DKNG at support. I gotta leave this one alone. The trade is there, it's just gonna take some time. Somebody was asking, is there a trade in mRNA? Now, for anyone who's watched the show for any time I've covered, I hate mRNA. The reason I hate it, because I can't get a handle on it. The way it trades, I just can't get a good read on it. So mRNA, is there a short? Let's just argue, forget the stock, forget the type of movement. Let's just argue just straight up chart setups, right? Where are we sitting? We're sitting right above 270, which would have been a problem based on yesterday's trade. The fact that we're above 270 would make you think maybe shorts are not there just yet, because there's previous support now from, pre-market lows, or actually no, it's like 10 o'clock, the low around 268 or so, and then you have an afternoon high around 268 as well, and then you have a closing print somewhere around 266. So if you're going for a short, you're limited by that action to the downside. So what would you argue? The long could be what could be the better trade here. 266 and then put a stop below everything around 262. That would be the trade if you're looking at mRNA. Preferably though, you know how I trade. If I'm going to trade a vaccine, I'm trading NVAX. I got a pretty good read on NVAX. Obviously, that 152 long could have been nice. I didn't have it up today, but it's up 20%, up $27, and it's hitting 170, and the next resistance level is at 172. There are other names apart from Moderna. Just because Moderna is always in the news and there's always something coming out, doesn't necessarily mean that's the best stock to trade. Preferably, from my experience, I have a better handle, and everyone's going to have their own experience, so that's fair. But I have a better handle on reading NVAX and its volume and its trades better. I'm surprised I didn't have that read today, because that 150 long would have been great based on the way it moved, especially that 152, damn. Okay, anyways, as I talk though, future is taking out highs. Okay, I guess that 45.85 is now gone. Buy-side bias still in play. What's our only level that we can work with? Well, now it seems like 70 might be something to keep an eye on as we take the upside out. But this market needs to calm down. It's gone up so fast. We're about 45 minutes from the European close. Given how fast this market is moving, just be careful around the European close, which will be in about 45 minutes, because there could be some profit-taking pullbacks as we kind of adjust for the European close. So 11:30 Eastern time, that's 45 minutes away. There could be some volatility coming in just because Europe closing matters, right? So It's one of those things, because why does it matter? Well, let's see how the futures reacted. Oh, it doesn't have it on this chart. Did the futures react at all around Europe? Yeah, we rallied
These
actually.
futures today.
Well, forget about today. I mean, that's the North American market. We're up like 40 points off the open. But Europe opens around 2 o'clock Eastern time, and we went up from 46.16 or so as high as 45.75 just in the European session. So it's got some, it's got that itself had about 40 points in movement. So there's a lot of movement in Europe as well as North America. So just be aware that European close might bring some volatility.
Look at a name that we looked at early. Then I see someone just mentioned Trupanion. So we'll look at Chewy. We did bring that up for you guys before, and I was looking at a 63 break. It gets pretty damn close to that level and then fades back down. So Chewy getting into the insurance game from a pet side of things. So let's see what Trupanion's doing. A completely different look here. Doesn't do too much volume, but 500,000 shares today if and when there it is. So wow, okay. So we just missed it, man. We went to the wrong name here. We should have gone over to Trupanion. Look at this, Brendo or whoever. Trupanion today getting involved with Chewy. I was an idiot on this, man. We talked about this in the pre-market. I looked at Chewy instead of Trupanion and took out the top there. This would have been the long for me for sure, 120. Just looking at the wrong name there. Wow, up to 145, up 27% on that Chewy news. I guess that makes a lot of sense. They're now teaming up, right? And being able to make that dream come true for Trupanion holders now getting into, I mean, just the order book alone that Chewy could bring them is monstrous. Great look there, and I feel bad. No, I don't feel bad. I feel great. But we did miss that one. What we did feel good as we're getting ready for Lumberjack Nation. I see him. But you know the thing about this, Justin, for some reason, he's really clean shaven. Like, I don't know, he has a different look today. I don't know what that is, and I like that wink right there as well as we're going to the upside. Here goes HUD 8. We were not expecting this to come through so much today, but it did, man. HUD 8 continues to move to the high side. 1030, we're going to hold out for that one. Other than that, man, don't have much going on right here, right now. Lucid, we got reloaded on this. Again, we'll hit this good opportunity to hit my favorite thing here. Okay, I'm reloaded. So we'll see where it goes, man. Out twice right now. The market's at highs. We've just been scalping this. We tweet that out. This has been a scalper's dream off of 44.50, but one more drop down, and I think we'll get out of this. We've scalped it a lot here. So if we drop below this level here, 44.40, I think we'll just give it up and not give any of this money back. This is actually my number one stock. This and HUD 8 going back and forth here, battling each other. So we'll get out if this breaks below 44.40 here, and just don't want to give up everything we've made. So it breaks there, we'll get out and we'll leave Lucid for anybody else. But right now, it looks like it may want to give some back. We're long at 44.60.
Yeah, and for me, I'm just dumping some INTC here. I'm short. It was up, 30-something cents? Now we're at 42 cents or so in the money. So I've dumped some here in front of 53 and change. So we're going to walk away with some of it. I've still got the order left for the rest of it down here at 51.50. We'll just manage this out. So we are walking away as we near the end here. Airbnb up $2.61, half the position left. NVIDIA up $5.55, half the position left. INTC up 42 cents, half the position left. We're still waiting on FedEx, which is out 6 cents. DKNG out 50 and AAL out 32. Of all of those, I think the one that I have the least faith in is going to be that AAL trade. Brendan.
He's probably making 3 times as much. Hi, guys. Justin Kozach is back to give us our daily feed, I guess, of what is happening in the world of tech. We're going to jump right into things, talk a little bit more about this Raven software story that we were discussing if you joined us in the afternoon yesterday. Remember, Raven does all the QA testing for ATVI, Activision Blizzard, which we discussed yesterday. But tell us about these answers that you got.
Right. So I spoke to the Activision Blizzard King Workers Alliance yesterday. Had a great conversation with them and asked them a bunch of questions around. So they to give you some context, they posted a statement that they had written on Google Docs and posted it out there. And we'll get that up on see if we can get that up on the screen there.
Yeah, I'll grab that for you. Hang on.
We're going to work on that, getting on the screen. But some of the questions that I had for them were insights as to the timing for some changes that were going to happen internally. Leadership was saying that there's some positive changes coming. They also said that because of these layoffs, had some concerns about how the new workload was going to be distributed. They essentially laid off 12 QA testers effective January 28th. So while they're still at the company, there are, of course, some ongoing concerns as to how you're going to be able to, or how they're going to be able to address that increase in workload. And also, they stated that Raven doesn't offer any relocation assistance for any of their contractors. And they had some questions as to why that is and what they're going to do to kind of mitigate some of that. It's very expensive, certainly now in the age of COVID, to move from one part of the country all the way over to the other. And had some questions as well as regarding their Activision's reaction to all this. So lots to talk about there, but it seems like really the concern that they're having is that Activision isn't really acting in good faith here. It feels like they're getting the short end of the stick on this one, and there's a lot to the story I'm going to talk about this afternoon. However, it's going to be really interesting. Certainly, this is a story that is, developing hour by hour. So definitely keeping an eye on that. We'll be covering a lot more of this on the show, as well as on Twitter today and this week, and really for as long as the show goes on.
Yeah. So. Do you want to go to? It's interesting to see that statement. They actually took the time to, make it a little more specific to the topic, not necessarily just sending you like a blanket, constructed priorly, constructed answer to that, which is good to see on their part. Right. What is this Quill that Twitter has acquired?
Quill. So, they're, certainly Quill sliding into Twitter's DMs, literally. For context, Quill is a messaging service very similar to Slack, so on the business side of things. So certainly trying to take a little piece of the business messaging side of the industry from Slack and put it over to Twitter. The terms of the deal were not disclosed, but Quill has been around for a little bit. It is founded by Ludwig Peterson, who's the former creative director of Stripe, and also was involved in OpenAI. So someone who has certainly been around the block in the startup side of things. They have raised $16 million from Sam Altman and Index Ventures. The product itself is not going to survive the acquisition. So this is really more of an acqui-hire than an acquisition, really. The team is joining Twitter's experience side of the business and is working on direct messaging. So taking a lot of that product expertise from messaging and putting it over to Twitter DM. So this could signal a shift in Twitter's kind of strategy as far as messaging goes, and could potentially mean that DMs could be a standalone product. So it's going to be really interesting. That's a side of the business that they haven't really touched. DMs have pretty much always stayed the same since the launch of the product. So, the new CEO just keeps swinging for the fences. So, going to be interesting to see. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah, busy guy right out of the gate for Twitter, making wheeling and dealing, I guess.
Wheeling and dealing.
Instagram, new parental controls announced.
Right. So I've kind of been following the story around content moderation and the impact that social media has on mental health. The head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, is testifying at Senate tomorrow to talk about how the app is affecting teens' mental health. And ahead of that, they are releasing some new features to help parents get a better sense of how much time their kids are spending on Instagram, which if you have kids, you're probably intimately familiar with how much time they are spending on social media. So listen, I think this is going to be really interesting. Timing of it is very interesting. 24 hours ahead of their first testimony at Senate.
Yeah, it's we'll see what happens tomorrow. I mean, the story just seems to continue to go on and on and on and on and on. As it will this afternoon. Come back 2 o'clock. 2:50?
It's 2:50. It's a date.
That works. 2:50 this afternoon. We'll discuss these topics and more in depth. Justin Kozach, Day Trade the World marketing guy. Check him out on Twitter at TraderTV Justin. Join the conversation. Let him know what you want to know more about, and he'll do the digging for you, guys.
I like that. Yeah, more Justin, more. We've got a date with him now, 2:50 this afternoon, so join us back live. And we're going to go after this show right over to the main man, the myth, the legend. Trader Prad will be live with you guys, taking you through the midday trading with obviously Miss V will be side by side with Trader Prad, so that should be an exciting show there to go as well. And we will flush down the toilet right here. We'll put in the gates of hell, but it's not going in the gates of hell by any stretch of the imagination. Lucid actually, my number one stock today is going to be Lucid, and there it is. It dumped down right when we went to to the program there with Brendan and Justin. We got out of a piece at 71, and then we said we break down through 40 and we're gone. If you're going to scalp these names, and I know you know this, Arun, as well, if you're going to scalp, then you got to get out quickly when they're wrong as well. Because if I hold this all the way down to the depths of hell here, then this would be a bad trade, and we'd give everything back. So in and out quickly. I think this will be a good review here for the trade of the day. And there goes Lucid breaking back down below 44 bucks, guys. We're short.
Yeah, I'm just looking at managing this NVIDIA position here. We've got $3.85 in the money on this one, but we may have to give it just south of 314. It's at 316 right now. Maybe another $2 or so, I think, before we cut the trade on the remaining position. I picked up some WFC, Wells Fargo as well. North, what was that, 50? North of 50 on Wells Fargo. Just to replace the GME long that I had. I like the way it's setting up here, north of 50. Stop on this is just gonna be a buck. It's gonna be south of 49. It really doesn't have to be that far. I feel like it can be 30, but I also don't like to use like these mid prices, so I'll just move it to a round number. 49 even. So we've got that Airbnb. I'm very close to considering the idea of dumping Airbnb, given the way it's moving around this 185. Something ain't right. I'm not sure, but I'll give it a little bit more time. But if it starts to or continues to act like this, I may just walk away from Airbnb completely and take this $2 that I'm up right now. So Airbnb doing well, NVIDIA doing well, and INTC actually bounced back a little bit from that 153 even. Stop on this is north of 54. We're kind of just trailing this out now. That's up 20 cents. Wells Fargo flat. FedEx, that was probably one that finally rotated. We were talking about this earlier. The rotation finally happened in FedEx off this 247 and change. Now we're back to this 248. The only issue is, though, we need to clear 249 to get going. And it doesn't want to do that right now. With the market going up to new highs, it does not want to do that. And I'm worried about what European close might bring in terms of market sentiment going into that close. So that's something to keep an eye on. DKNG, just, why? Why do you not want to go up? It's here, it's flirting with 32, and there's enough to kind of make this go up, but it just doesn't want to do it right now. So I guess we're going to be stuck waiting on this one. That one's 50 cents out. And then AAL, I don't even want to bring up the chart on AAL because you know how I feel about AAL being long just above 1850 in this market, not even wanting to attempt north of that. So let's figure out what we're going to do with the futures here. Obviously, we broke the 85, so that level's gone. I've got the 35 mark from earlier. That's a level to work with. And the trail on this long, or if you have a long, this buy-side sentiment, I think, goes all the way down to 45.70. So buy-side sentiment until 45.70 goes. But for now, though, I don't really have any other levels to work with. You just, if you miss the boat, you miss the boat. This was one of those days where if you had the long at the right time, which was pretty much right at the open or just before the open, you were doing well. If you try to get along at any other point, markets just took off on you. Risk didn't make any sense to take a trade after that, and you kind of just have to wait and see if you get a different trade somewhere else. So there isn't a whole lot there left. There's William the Adventure Dog strikes again. He was there yesterday. Here we are today. He's like, thank you so much for the INTC bottom call. Average price of
dude made $8,000.
Yeah. Managed exits horribly though. 1% is $8.38. That is a lot of cash for you, my friend. So good job on actually getting those positions. It's easy to kind of see the positions, but it's a different thing to actually take them and then to bank them. That's a different story. So good job, and thank you for the super chat, Brendan.
Okay, there it is. Okay, we were waiting on some earnings, guys. We're getting close to the end of the show, so let's get right to earnings coming up tonight and tomorrow morning.
Okay, so I mean, I guess nicely done there by Miss V putting charge point right in the middle. I think that's going to be one that's been very, very tipsy-turvy here, back down to 21.50 or so, looking like it may want to break that bottom, so I'm nervous about that. Campbell's, I mean, if you want something that's maybe an inflation kind of play there, you do have Campbell's. And then I'm debating, you know, I'm going to cancel this. We are short right now, Lucid, at 44, man. We waited for that to break, and then we strike again, so Lucid goes right up to the upside here on my board. Anyway, I know it's downside the stock, but now my number one name is Lucid as the market's coming back down, and we have the short at 44. So we'll hold this one for a bit. If it gets above 44 now, then we'll get out. But I didn't love the short, but we just machine gun this one like crazy. So we do like that one. What day is it today, Miss V?
Thank you, Sean, and hey guys, I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. I remind you, please smash the like button. We need just 200 more likes to get 2,000. So we would really appreciate your support. And of course, join me and Trader Prad to continue trading right after. Happy National Cotton Candy Day, everyone.
All right. I like the
Fun
blue.
sugar.
I like all that stuff. Yeah, I can't eat it, but the kids
I
like
can't
the
eat
cotton
it.
candy. A little too sweet for this guy's teeth right
Yeah.
now. So I'm going to pass on cotton candy. But again, you're down with a fair, you're down with your kids, something like that. I think cotton candy, a very sweet treat. I'm going to say Brendan is going to be a thumbs down on cotton candy.
Hard no. I did have a Coca-Cola one at one point, though, when I was a kid, I remember. That was
Coca-Cola.
very, very good.
Cotton candy.
Coca-Cola cotton
Huh.
candy was very good.
Sounds interesting.
Maybe I should put this. Maybe for the afternoon show, I'll go a high button here. But okay, yeah. So far, so good, man. Thanks. It was a fun day with you, Arun, and we'll be back obviously at 2 p.m. So that should be a good one. Thanks, Brendan. Thank you to Rob for running the board today. Great job there, my main man. Thank you so much for that. That was a lot of fun, and congratulations. He knows what that's for. So yes, thank you so much for Ms. V again. And right now, we're going to throw it over to Trader Prad and Ms. V with Memes and Movers. So let's go this way, and good luck and have a good show.
Welcome to Memes and Movers. I'm your host, Trader Prad. This is the beautiful Miss V.
Thank you, Prad, and hey guys, welcome back everyone. As usual, please be active on the chat, ask us anything, and go long on the like button. How's your trading day going, Prad?
Not the best.
That's because you're wearing green. You're giving your
I know I
energy
gave away my
away.
energy to other
Yeah.
people today, but that's fine. We'll do better tomorrow. But now that you're here,
Absolutely.
hopefully we'll change something.
yeah. Let's go. Let's get back
Do
to flat or positive territory.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, full disclosure. Couple mistakes on a couple of my entries. I got a little too emotional. I got shut down.